Yeah, Hope Dealer was taken off.
It's big out there in Florida, Hope Dealers.
I was really surprised that the Hopeaholics wasn't taken.
That's true. I would have thought somebody would have thought of that, right? Hopeaholic.
Yeah, I got the URL. I've got the Instagram, the TikTok. What else?
You guys have T-shirts yet?
Not
Coming.
yet. Coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the logo too.
Really like the logo.
Are you going to put the logos on? Like, do you guys have shirts for your companies that you give clients?
Yes.
You put that on it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Start. You know what I'll do is we do so we do all the staff ones say Got Hope on the front, and then it says staff on the sleeve. So I could put put this logo on the other arm.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
One thing I did too, I remember when I was working with one of these treatment centers, I created a podcast studio there. And what I would do is we'd get paperwork and have the clients sign it when they graduate.
Yeah.
Graduate, part of it's getting on the podcast. So a lot
Nice.
of them is stoked for it. And then, you do episodes with the clients and stuff like that, which is super cool.
We've had a few clients come on.
Yeah.
We kind of hammered the VA right off the bat. We're slowing down on that issue because we're having good results with some VAs. Just some of them are not. I don't like to say live.
You know what? It's like any life. I mean, you have good relationships and you have not so good relationships, and that's
But the problem is the ones that aren't referring out. They're not referring to anybody.
Yeah.
Except for like Delamo Hospital, or they're sending fentanyl addicts to a psych ward, and these are veterans that have like literally like fought for our freedoms. And that's how they're being treated, and I don't really like that. That's my second reason for the podcast. The primary reason, as I told you earlier, is fentanyl. And you see a lot more of it than I do, because I'm not so much in the front line anymore, because I've been working in treatment and owning a treatment center for over 20 years, and now we have like 6 of them. So I'm upstairs in the corporate office. I mean, I do go downstairs and try to play
rally the troops.
Yeah. So we try. It's this Hope by the Sea is family owned and operated. We've tried to keep the family feel across the board, and still have a semi-corporate structure. Yeah.
So they all called Hope by the Sea, all the houses?
We
or
have
are there different names.
Hope by the Sea. No, we have different ones.
Okay.
Hope by the Sea is the biggest. We have Pillars Recovery in Newport Beach, Corona Del Mar, Laguna Beach, and Costa Mesa.
I think I've spoken at Pillars for like.
Have you?
They had me come in to speak to the clients.
Oh, nice, awesome. Do you know when?
It was, who was it? I think Nicole worked there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's part of our circle before, and I think she went to work there. So she hit me up to go.
Oh,
speak.
nice, cool.
There's Howard Lodge you got.
Howard Lodge in Lake Arrowhead.
Ken Sealy
Communities in Palm Springs. We have Serene Behavioral Health, which is mental health primary, and mental wellness KS in Palm Springs, which is part of the Ken Sealy Communities. Yeah. So that's the Infinity Group. The podcast, though, is totally separate. It's the Hopeaholics. We just, we're trying to offer hope to people.
Everybody.
Hey, really quick, though, Michelangelo, are we live?
We're hot.
Okay, yeah, we're hot.
Nice.
We've been live for a while. That's kind of just like...
Yeah, that's our intro, bro.
That's our intro.
That's it.
That's it.
How'd it go for you?
Confusing. I was like, the whole time in my head, I'm overthinking. I'm like, wait, are we live? Like, am I supposed to answer this? Should I get into like...
That's funny because you probably, as soon as I said we were live, you're like, you probably calmed down.
Right.
So we do it the other way for people that are full of anxiety before they sit down.
Yeah.
We just start having a conversation to like calm them down.
Yeah.
And then eventually we ask Michelangelo if we're live. And he's hit the live button quite some time ago.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, good times.
So yeah, man, tell us a little bit about
Vulnerability
yourself.
coach.
Vulnerability, about
Vulnerability
myself.
coach.
So just a little bit about myself is, my whole thing I've kind of like embraced is all about vulnerability. So since, like I was telling you earlier, since day one when I got sober in 2017, I didn't know about AA yet. I didn't know anything about it in 2017. And so for me, it was, I had this perception change that everything in life was happening for me and not to me. So my mindset went, wow, so I was raped for a reason. Sounds crazy, right?
Right.
I was molested for a reason. I was addicted for a reason. My dad abandoned the family for a reason. My mom got cancer for a reason. I have depression and anxiety, and I've tried killing myself for a reason. I've been heartbroken for a reason, you know, because I was strong enough to go through it to help out other people. That perception change is what got me to try to be sober. And so from day one, I went on Facebook and Instagram and put all that stuff in detail. And then I went to AA the next day. And it's funny because in AA, right, it's like, don't put it on there. But that was my way of doing it. And so I ran with that. And so in these 5.5 years of my sobriety, that was something I was kind of known for because people weren't doing that. I just put everything on there.
Yeah.
And so my story was basically like what I told you. It was just growing up in Orange County, and I was always insecure and shy, but I didn't know how to communicate that. So I was kind of always trying to find a way to get outside of that feeling. And so I would observe people and be like, okay, how do they act like that? Maybe if I dress like that, maybe if I talk like that. And so I was living like that. And then when I was 7 years old, I had no brothers and my dad was abusive. So I would always try to find male figures to guide me.
Yeah.
And so the first male figure in my apartment complex, he sexually abused me.
Jesus.
The problem was, though, to me, it wasn't traumatic.
Yeah.
It was the first time I felt seen. It was the first time I felt heard and important. It was the next day when he bullied me again, where I felt, oh, it's my fault. So because of that, I said, how do I avoid feeling rejection? So I became a people pleaser, a know-it-all, the funny guy and a manipulator in school. And in 4th grade, I got a concussion. And a week later, I came back to school because I was in the hospital. And all of a sudden, I was popular. And so I was like, whoa. So if something bad happens to me or I do something extreme, I'll get attention. And so that's what built that part of me of I'm going to do whatever people tell me to do to get attention. And so at that point, I was doing jackass stunts. I was drinking piss. I was eating shit in middle school just to get attention.
Yeah.
You know, jumping off buildings, carpet boarding and stuff like that, making funny videos, doing stunts. And then once I discovered love in 7th grade, I was like, oh, this is nice. Like a girl likes me. This is good. I feel important. I feel like I matter and I feel seen. The problem was, though, is at that time when she broke up with me in 7th grade, at that time, it was like the end of the world.
Yeah.
Because I thought she knew I was sexually abused by a boy. That's what I connected it to. She must know. So 8th grade, I become a punk rocker now. I'm thinking this will fix me. Get a punk rock girlfriend. I'm like, I figured it out. Yeah. She leaves me. She must know I was sexually abused. 9th grade, I'm a skateboarder now. Get a girlfriend. All right, I fixed it. She leaves me. She must know I was sexually abused. So at that point, I said, how do I stop going to school? Because I can't face these feelings. Because by the age of 7, I was thinking about killing myself.
Wow.
So in 9th grade, I faked my own death. I made a YouTube video with Incubus music of a car crash and me in the hospital from that concussion in 4th grade. I used that picture.
Yeah.
And I put that I died. And I put it on MySpace. Well, that doesn't work because people will show up to your house to support your mom. And everyone's like, what the fuck? You're alive.
Yeah.
So,
oh, no.
So I was like, okay, that didn't work.
Right.
Plan B was go to school. I told my teacher, hey, I'm hearing voices to kill people. Can I go home?
Wow.
Well, they sent me to the psych ward.
Yeah.
But I got my wish. I was able to get out of school. And that's when I got introduced to drinking because somebody said, hey, you drink. And then I was like, well, I want to fit in, right? So yeah, I drink. And since I didn't have to go to school anymore, it was kind of easier for me to, you know, say yes to it.
Yeah.
So once I drank, it was the first time in my life where I felt confident, secure, a part of, a will to live. So for me, it was a life hack. It was like, cool, I figured out the life hack, how to live. So from there, built the curiosity of, okay, what else is out there? Weed, didn't like it. Okay, ecstasy, loved it. This is still 9th grade, right?
Yeah.
And then I get into cocaine, loved it. Crack, loved it. Meth, loved it. But when I got on meth, the problem with that was then I got molested for 6 months. And the part that messed me up about this was because it happened to me when I was 7, it didn't feel wrong happening again. I knew what was happening, but I went back every day for it to happen because a part of me felt like there was this sick need to have that happen to me. And so the problem, though, was with on meth, I realized... How old were you? 14 that 14. Time. And the problem with it that time, though, was because it felt right. Yeah. Again, I was like, well, this is my fault. Yeah. But the age difference was 40-year difference. You look at it from an objective point of view, it's not my fault.
No.
Right.
And so at the time I did so, that was the first time I prayed. I remember I was like, God, if you're real, get me out of the situation. Because I didn't know how to stop going back. Even with a sober mind, I was like, because if he'll say something, he'll tell everybody what I did. So once I got out of that situation, from 10th grade to 12th grade, it was just, I was the party guy, right? Beer pong, playing all those like drinking games, keg stands, ecstasy, the party guy. And then I started getting tattoos and piercings, thinking if I get tattoos and piercings and I work out, this will fix me. Get a girlfriend at 18, I'm fixed. 21 comes around, and guess what? I get cheated on. So now I'm like, she must know I got molested and sexually abused. Now I get cheated on. That's the next level because it happened again.
Right.
And so then I spiral. I try killing myself. I quit my job. I have to go to court for 2 years because I got caught up in an overdose from 20 pills of ecstasy. And then from there, I was like, you know what? I got to change my life. So I started taking steroids. I'm a bartender now and a server. I could get paid to drink and party. Okay, so now I got the job, the cool job, right? Bartender, DJ, you know what I mean? Like, look at me.
It was always a great job growing up. Everyone wanted to be the bartender.
It's like the cool thing, right?
It's a cool job, bro.
Cocaine
you get the
too.
Steroids
going. So I'm on top of the world. I'm like, everybody wants to fuck me. Right. That's how I felt, right? Cocaine and steroids.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, dude,
that's a good time.
Yeah, I did. I was like, she wants to fuck, and her boyfriend wants to fuck. That's how much she wants me.
Right. You're closing down. Last call.
Yeah, right. So I felt on top of the world, and then of course I get a girlfriend. So I'm like, I arrived, 25 years old. I get cheated on. And again, that whole trauma comes back of like, dude, like there's no running away from this. So I got fired from a job, tried killing myself again. I had 5 grand mal seizures a day for a month. Wow. So if you add that up, that was a lot.
Yeah. $150.
Yeah. And it was just this insanity of like, I just couldn't stop getting fucked up. At this point, it was almost like I lived in the shower at one point for a month.
Yeah, I've been there.
Just
not for a month, but
you get it, right?
I thought I was dying. First place you hit is the shower.
You go to the shower.
Yeah.
And it was almost like my safe space because I thought everyone was coming after me because I'm like twacked out of my mind, My concoction was I'd use NyQuil as the base, the liquid, but Ambience, ecstasy, crack, meth, cocaine, pain pills, crush them up, mix it, and then inject it.
Oh. Really?
And that was my thing. And that's when I knew it was getting bad because I just couldn't stop.
I didn't even know you could use NyQuil as the base.
That's what happens when you're twacked out. Huh? Put some NyQuil in there. Maybe this will intense it.
This is a new for me too. I'm not gonna lie. This is a new.
I mean,
Wow, my eyes just perked up. NyQuil.
Like, damn, I missed out.
You were just a cracky, right?
Yeah,
like,
I didn't. And I
like somebody gave him meth one time and he was like pissed.
Yeah,
And
I used wine as my base.
Wine,
I used wine, but I never heard.
NyQuil.
Did you inject it?
No, never. No, but just to cook it up, we used wine.
Yeah. So that's when I knew it was getting pretty bad. And, I think something that what I realized, and this is because I'm all about being honest, right? You could talk about the trauma. I like to talk about what the trauma did to me. Though. So I always tell people, I think the reason why I was trying to mix everything, I wasn't chasing the drug high. I was chasing the rape high.
Yeah.
Getting raped at a young age while being high, there was a feeling to it.
Right.
Even though it was so wrong, but it was such a feeling that when I was a kid, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So anytime I would get high, my mind would try to get that feeling. And so I was trying to mix everything, thinking if this is the concoction that will make it happen, right? But that's something I never wanted to talk about because you hear people talk about getting raped. It's like oh my gosh, the world's over. Yeah. And part of me was like, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Does that make me a bad person? So that was the thing that I was chasing, and I started to see that. And so when I reached out for help, and keep in mind at this time my mom had cancer too, going through chemo. My dad's not around in the picture. I have a little sister. I'm a high school dropout. I'm not smart academically and stuff like that. And so I just felt super insecure, broken, depressed, anxiety. Suicidal. It just felt like I couldn't figure out life. So, but luckily in 2017, I reached out to a buddy of mine who was locked up, and he was the only person I knew that kind of changed. And so that's when he read me some scripture, and I got that God gives his strongest battles to his strongest warriors. And that's when that perception change happened of,
on that verse.
Wow, so it's because I was strong enough to go through this, so I can help people grow through it. So that's what got me into AA, because I saw AA in that show Rescue Me, that fireman show. That's how I knew about AA, was through that show. So again, like I said, I started posting all my stuff on social media before I went to AA, because I felt so purpose driven in that moment. I was like, dude, this is my thing. I love helping people. Yeah. Now I have this life resume to help people. And so then when I went to AA, it was a podium meeting, and they're like, hey, who wants to share? A newcomer. I'm like, oh, I guess that's me. So I had no problem. I walk up to the podium, right? And then I just share everything I told you guys for the first time in 25 years. And when I stepped down that podium and somebody said, me too, I knew exactly that
Powerful.
that perception was true, because I thought I was the only one that went through that for 25 years.
Right.
And so that's how my journey got started.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually very common theme amongst men in recovery. Mm-hmm. I've had a lot of things that you said I could really identify with. Mm-hmm. You know, I went straight to meth, IV, shooting, and then I went into meth psychosis, and you know, I worked for the CIA and all the good shit that came with it, man.
Government guy, you become religious too when you smoke it.
I mean, yeah, I met Jesus Christ. You know, I was just like on the verge. I've also met the devil too. At this, you know, and they were like tugging on me. One was like,
right.
"Hey, yeah, yep."
Fuck.
I mean, it's insanity, but like, I could really relate to what you were saying, and we've been hearing this a lot. On the podcast.
Yeah, I was checking out some episodes you guys had, and I liked it and commented on it because I was like, whoa, it's heavy. But I like that he said it.
Yeah. I mean, okay, that podcast in particular, I was not expecting that at all. So like that gentleman just started talking, and I was sitting here like, I don't know if like I was in shock, and but I was, you know, like whenever I post that guy's stuff, I'm like, that's a brave man right there.
Yeah.
You know, because for whatever reason, we think we're not supposed to talk about that. Mm-hmm. I was molested as a child by a man. I was also molested by a woman who was 21 years old, and I was 13, and that was cool.
Right.
I told everybody about that one.
Yeah.
I was like, this is cool. And guys, like one of my friends saw it happen. Another friend walked in on it. So I was like, this is cool, right? Yeah. But it was still wrong. You know, it was still wrong.
It was still wrong.
But I never told anybody about the male one until I was 32 years old. So I held that stuff for years. And
what helped you open up about it when you're 32?
I stopped. I was really tired of having thoughts of homicide. Like I used to literally think about, and I don't even know if I want to say this on a podcast, but I used to think about killing the person. I don't want to say how, but you know, I did. I used to. Who cares? I used to think about it.
It's well within your.
And
right,
I got tired of it, and it just came out one day, and my mom was standing in the room, and she looked over at me like, "What?" Like she's like, she had no idea, because she knew who the person was too. And she was in shock that, you know, I held it that long. And then as soon as I said it the first time, I was able to just start talking about it and sharing about it whenever I felt like it. Now I went back and did a lot of work in therapy and stuff like that, because I had issues with like girls too, like jumping in a relationship and feeling like I was fixed. Same kind of thing. And then I would get my heart broken, and then I would feel like a loser. Yeah. You know, and that same stuff kept happening to me.
Well, it's relatable too, because I think like for me, it was almost like if I'm with a woman, then what happened to me didn't happen.
Yeah.
Right. Because it made me question.
Erases it.
Made me question my sexuality.
Yeah.
And I have nothing against gay people. I have a lot of gay friends, but imagine being a kid, because I would think like
the confusion.
It's confused. Like maybe I'm supposed to be with guys then, because the girls are leaving me, and it's like, how do I communicate that? How do I know? And it was like this fear kicking in of like just confusion. And so it was, if I'm with a girl, it was almost like it gave me the illusion that thing never happened. But like you said, when it's gone, like the wound's still there. And then I realized the reason why I was hypersexual. So hypersexuality comes from being abused at a young age. So a lot of people when I talk to, you know, it's very common. So, but I didn't know that's why I was hypersexual. I just thought something was wrong with me. And then I realized the reason why I always needed to have sex was, if I have sex with you, I take back my power. It's a way to get back in control and control and control. So it's chasing to get back in control. So when I wasn't getting sex too, I felt like you didn't love me. But that's not healthy. No. But that's how it was for me and stuff like that. And so it messed up my sexuality. It made me confused about what I like and what I don't like. You know, the thought of being molested turns me on. You know, and that was hard to admit. You know, I was like, why is this coming in my head? Like I'd be like meditating, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Two, I'd be with like my partner having sex, and then I'm thinking about the person molesting me, and I'm like, this is crazy. Or think sexually. Like I learned that, like I love the BDSM community, because what that does is, from a therapeutic standpoint, is people taking back their power. So if you've been, let's say you've been beat by your parents physically, well, usually they get into impact play, which is, I'm giving you consent to use these tools, paddles, hand, whatever it is, but I'm in charge. So when I say stop or red, then you do it. And for them, it takes back their power. And so I studied that stuff too, because I was trying to realize, like, there's certain things I can't do. Like, don't ever come off a little aggressive with me, even if you're just playing. Like, don't. It triggers me. If I have to trust you first, okay, we're not having sex the first time. I can't just sleep around. I can't. Like, internal, especially sober-minded, I was like, no, this is not happening. And so I had to learn how to communicate. This is what happened to me. This is what's allowed. This is what's not allowed. And I need to be the one that's the more dominant one, and you need to be the more submissive one. And it's not because of control or anything wrong. It's like, I just can't because of what happened to me. And so what actually helps me heal is to be the more dominant one. And it's all respectful. People might think it's some crap. Like, it's not like that. It's just more like, hey, I'm not going to be that person that's not going to happen. Because it reminds me when his knee was on my knee, and it would make me go numb and I couldn't move, or his hand on me, or whatever it was, right? And so I think there's a lot of things that happen because of sexual trauma that people don't talk about.
Right.
Because who wants to admit those things?
Right.
But they're real. They're really real. It really messes up your psyche.
It does.
Till this day, 5.5 years sober, I'm like, yeah, I still got problems.
Yeah.
I'm better at it, but luckily my partner, she has similar traumas to me, so we can communicate and it feels safe. She's like, I get it. I was like, okay, cool.
That's amazing how you find your person out there. They're out there for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for you.
You know, and we hear this similar stuff about women, but now it's like, we're bringing it to light that many of us men have gone through the same stuff, and it really messes with you. Like I liked what you said about it messes with you, like when a man does that it confuses you. Like, I'm not gay, but it was confusing to me. Man, I appreciate your honesty. That's some good stuff.
Yeah,
right
you're
there.
real, bro.
Yeah, deep.
You're real. Wow. Yeah.
I appreciate
It's amazing. We get people on you. I never have an expectation.
Me either.
I never think, what's this guy going to be like at all, actually. And I'm just thinking about that now. Because you're right. I'm always just so pleasantly surprised and so happy, here talking with you, man. I mean, it's just real stuff.
But there's an intimacy in a podcast. So like I encourage people like to come down and be a guest, because there's an intimacy when you have headphones on, a microphone. The only thing we hear right now is the three of us.
Yeah.
And then Michelangelo's listening to us over there, but
he's got no mic.
He doesn't have a mic, so
no.
We want to get him on camera one time, but he said no. It's kind of cool to have a Michelangelo, though, right?
Oh, trust me, this makes it all happen.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because we don't edit the podcast. He's controlling everything from there, the cameras, everything. And then there's even like Tommy walking by. I give him a thumbs up. It's the real deal.
Yeah,
that's super cool.
Yeah.
So you're bringing your stuff to the streets.
Yeah. So basically, like, what I've done with everything now is like,
I got to ask you before you continue, who's that lady with you on every podcast?
oh, that's my girlfriend.
That is your girlfriend. I figured.
So what we're doing is I wanted to create, it's just a fun project. Is two traumatized people. How do you make a relationship work?
Yeah.
And so we ask those real hard questions, right? Like, hey, how do you not let your assumptions ruin a relationship? If you've been sexually abused, how do you communicate with your partner? Hey, how do you forgive someone, for cheating on you if you want them back in your life? Like, just like really good questions of like communication and what it's really like to be in a relationship when you deal with those things. So people talk about 5 love languages. I go, what about the 5 trauma languages?
Yeah.
Like you might need extra reassurance. Why? Because of your past. You
Right.
might need extra communication on this or whatever it is, but it's not someone being clingy to you or needy. It's like, hey, they've been through some stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, it makes sense why they don't trust you. Like, if their mom and dad beat them to death their whole life, you really think they're going to trust that you care about them?
Yeah.
And so you have to learn these like trauma love languages of how to make it work.
Yeah.
And so that's
You
kinda what
really
it
do.
is.
And I found my person, and she's amazing, and like we're there. Like, we worked through all of this stuff, my stuff, her stuff, and like our relationship has blossomed into this like beautiful flower. Like, I just like I've never been so happy and satisfied and not in need of sex. Like I don't have to have it because the connection that we have.
It's like fulfilling almost. It's like almost like
yeah.
It's almost like when you lack connection, the sex is needed more.
Yeah.
And when you have that deep connection, it's like, wow, like I'm just fulfilled being around you.
Right. You know, and I love getting past that that honeymoon stage because man, that's rough for people like for addicts in general, whether you've been sexually abused or not, man. It's like, and mine for some reason will go on for like, they say it's only supposed to last like 18 months, but mine goes on for like 3 years. And the other person is like already, you know, into the relationship, and I'm still like, let's keep it new. All crazy and stuff. I hope you laugh at that, Donna. Talk about Donna a lot on the podcast because she's my best friend.
Yeah, it's
cool. Yeah.
What's that saying behind like every strong man's a strong woman?
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
How long you married now?
7, almost 7. Yeah. Almost 7 years.
Yeah, I got one. 3 kids, 15 years later. Best friend, yeah, it's good times.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think if you were to give like 3 tips to make a long-term relationship work when you come from a traumatized background?
Well, for me, it's intimacy. I mean, I just think intimacy it doesn't have to be of a sexual nature, but just intimacy, real intimate conversation, a lot of sharing, like how you're doing. Yeah. Yeah.
So intimate, just all around.
Yeah, just all around intimacy. It's important.
What about
sexual
you?
as well.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
All together.
It's all
Physical,
together.
sexual,
all
emotional,
mental.
mental.
All of it. Yeah, intimate.
I mean, for me, it's like just like be nice to each other, like no name calling, you know. And we went through our struggles, but like just learning how to just really love each other and love all the little quirks that they have.
Yeah.
You know, and which I guess all of that stuff does tie into intimacy.
Yeah,
You know, she's my best friend.
That's
so,
cool.
You know, she knows everything about me.
And you don't do much. Like you're always together, you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the same. I'm just with my wife all the time.
Yeah. I don't really have a very big circle because I'm kind of a loner, you know. But I go to the gym. I work a lot too, though. I'm here a lot, and then you know, and we have 3 kids, so we're busy. 2 of them are in high school. One of them's an adult, so we're busy.
Yeah.
That's super cool. Yeah, I think
3 things though. He said 3 things.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I don't have 3.
That's a good one though. Covered a whole bunch of different bases and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, just really like just never give up on each other either, man. Like we didn't give up on each other. And my wife and I, we met. We really we had like a deep connection right from the get go. We were married 6 weeks later. I had gotten in some trouble before, so like I had to go back to rehab, and I was away from her for a year, so that it was rocky. It was rocky right off the bat. So
I always respect couples where they have scenarios like that, right? But the loved one actually does make it back and change. That's beautiful, because it's hard, because most of the time you would see when you're working with people, I work with couples, and they're like, yeah, my husband's going to change, he said. In my head, I go, man, I hope they do.
And man, I was the one that needed to change. I was the one that needed to do the work.
Yeah.
And when I started doing my work, man, that's when it really just started.
Blossomed. Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah,
that's cool that you were a big part of that.
Yeah,
yeah, that's nice.
On top of that, she's amazing. She's very beautiful, kind. She pushes me. She's strong. She's Italian. So she's a little spicy. Right, Shane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like strong women.
Yeah, she keeps me in line, man.
Good for you. Yeah, you need it.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, my girlfriend, she's Persian.
Oh yeah, they're tough.
They're tough.
Yeah.
And she's a boss. She's crushing it at work, biomedical engineer,
yeah, right. Oh,
senior
nice.
project manager, working on $10 million projects.
Like, there you
good
go.
for you.
I'm over here like, oh man, I'm nice. I'm kind. I'm emotionally available. I'm like, yeah, you're like.
That's awesome.
But it's cool because I don't know, for me at least, I need that. It's my opposite.
Yeah.
Right? She's the more structured, organized, like to-do list, like Excel sheet. Like this is how you make it work. And I'm the one that's like, just put me in. and I'll make it work. If you build it, I'll go in and make it work.
Mm.
And so it works good for
cool.
us working as a team too. So her strengths are my weaknesses and my strengths are her weaknesses, which I think is super cool to have.
I think it is cool to have, because I feel like I have that, you know. We're the opposite in a lot of ways. Like, I'm super into the gym, and she has a metabolism that is just like amazing. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I want that.
Yeah.
I want to eat a hamburger
Right.
when we're done with this podcast, but I'm going to go have some chicken and rice, you know?
I do know.
No, you don't.
No, I don't. I don't.
Because you can actually go have
I got a good
a
metabolism.
hamburger. Right?
Yeah, right. It's like, I'm going to eat a hamburger after this.
Yeah, for sure.
You're
For sure. Had one last night. 4x4, in and out.
So let me ask you some questions,
Yeah.
because are you still super involved with Alcoholics Anonymous?
Yeah.
Yeah. So after your meeting and after sharing all of that, my question is, have you seen since the beginning, and since you still share this stuff, that Alcoholics Anonymous has changed and become less closed-minded to being outspoken about your alcoholism, or your ism, I should say, not just the alcoholism, but all of it?
The question is, has AA been like supportive of it for me?
Yes.
I mean, you get both ways, right? I get a lot of people in AA that are all like, they love me. They're like, bro, like, keep on doing what you're doing. You know why? Like, people need that. And they'll tell me, like, who gives a shit what like certain people say.
Yeah.
And then I have some people that might say, you know, you should just keep it in here. But I don't really get that as much. I'm surprised. I really don't get too many people telling me that I shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because maybe I'm just like an all-around good person overall, and I really do help people and go around donating my time, and I'm always showing up doing things. So I don't know if maybe because of that, they kind of like get, like, you know, they really don't mind, or maybe some people do talk shit, which people do. Yeah. They just don't tell me nothing.
Right.
But at this point, I don't care anymore.
Yeah, I think it's healthy.
I don't care anymore either.
No, yeah, I think it's real healthy. Tell everybody.
I know it is healthy. I think to be able to embrace everything you've been through gives your life meaning.
Yeah.
So some people, I think, I call it unavoidable pain. Unavoidable pain is something you can't change. And so when you can't give unavoidable pain meaning, it becomes unforgivable pain. And what you don't forgive, you become. And that's heavy. So, okay, well, when I have this unavoidable pain, how do I turn it into undeniable purpose? Well, I put God in the picture. A spiritual lens can give it meaning by saying, if you share this, it gives somebody hope to help them through that. So for me, I think for everybody, like, if you're struggling, and this is all around stuff, if you're struggling with something, be open about it.
Right.
Because you never know who's listening, and you never know that, you know, your story can help someone and also help you, because everybody's going through it.
Everybody is.
Everybody is. People just don't talk about it.
Right. Everybody's going through it.
Everybody.
Like normal people, what we call normies, they're going through it.
Depressed.
Many of them.
All of them.
You know, and they're or the functional alcoholic, ooh, they're going through it.
Yeah.
You know, how hard is it to be a functional alcoholic? Because like you're in pain to drink like that, but you still go to work every day. You have a roof over your head.
Pay your bills.
Pay your bills. And there's no problem. Something, you know, you drive fancy cars, but you know, you might beat your wife at night. You might have a horrible relationship with your wife. Your kids
aren't talking to you.
Kids aren't talking to you.
Passed out in the car after work. Just all that shit.
A lot that comes with it.
Yeah.
So I'm all about being open and transparent with everything. Like, I still am till this day and stuff like that. And I love doing that no matter where I go. That's why I always tell people, like, I love Eminem, the rapper, not because of his music, not because of his lyrics, but because he called himself out and said, what do you got on me? Like, I just told you all the shit about me, good and bad. Now what?
Yeah.
You got nothing on me. And so I love that philosophy, because if somebody was to be like, I'm going to tell your girlfriend that you did this in the past, I'm like, cool, it's on Instagram. You know, well, I'm going to say this and that. Oh, cool. Yeah, it's on Facebook.
Yeah.
Right. You know, and it's like, you know, you take back your power. But I think people get so hyper focused on, like, someone's going to use it against me. They're going to manipulate me with it. They're going to judge me. I'm like, first of all, who gives a fuck what people think about you? Because people are judging you even if you do the right thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And the other part is, like, you know, sometimes withholding secrets is what's going to make you sicker, because what you don't share, you're going to wear, and it's going to wear you down. So I think if people can understand to just start to embrace their pain, they will find purpose. And that's what every human being wants, is purpose. And how cool is it for people who go through a lot of traumatizing and addictions and mental health? Like, you guys have a blueprint of purpose if you just start opening up about it. People who don't have, like, trauma, addiction, or maybe mental health that's bad, everyone has problems, but some people don't have that many problems like us. They struggle with finding purpose, because they're like, well, Like, I don't like my job anymore. Well, yeah, I'm making money, but I'm kind of like, feeling confused or lost. It's like, well, what have you been through? And they're like, well, I don't know. Went to school, graduate, good family, kids. I'm like, okay, well, maybe I don't know then. I don't know how to help you, but you'll find it.
Right.
But people who have all this pain, I go, okay, just write out all your pain points in your life. They go, there. I go, cool. That's all your purpose.
Yeah.
Go help someone with that.
That's cool.
And it's healing. It's so healing, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys know that when you help someone else out with something that you've been through, it's like, wow, maybe what I went through didn't go in vain.
Right.
It feels good. It heals. And so that's why I'm totally about just like being loud about it.
Yeah, and that's what this podcast is about letting Justin's death not be in vain. Not just his death though, but like the 300 people that die every single day from fentanyl overdose every single day. Mm-hmm. Like, that's insane.
It's crazy.
What if an airplane went down every single day? What would the government do at that point? Shut down the airlines? Down all planes?
Yeah. I have no choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what are we doing about the fentanyl crisis? Nothing. Mm-hmm. We're gonna do something about it. See, and you have a good voice. You
Great
speak
voice.
well.
Great voice.
You know, I get 100 people. We'll go up to Washington D.C.
Yeah. I like this guy.
Check out my personal page because I've sat with some of these guys already.
Oh, no way. That's awesome.
Yeah, go check out my personal page. Mm-hmm. I was with the Speaker of the House. What?
2 months ago.
2 months ago.
Yeah. Awesome.
Up there.
Yeah.
You know, and we talked about it. We talked about veterans. I talked mostly with his wife. She's amazing. She's all about helping the veterans get their help, the help that they deserve.
So what do you think it's going to take to actually make an impact on this stuff? Because
millions of people.
You think so?
Saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Millions of people standing behind us and us going up there and being like, what are you going to do about this? You know, they don't actually all have to stand up there, but
it'd be nice.
It would be
That's
nice.
a march, bro.
Yeah.
That's a march. It's a 1 million person march.
A million addict march.
Yeah, 1 million addict march.
Like, we go out. I mean, we're documenting all the fentanyl use that's happening out on the streets, and that nobody's doing anything about it. Like, and what are we gonna do about it?
Yeah.
It takes money to get these guys off the streets, because we were talking before. It's like people. So like me, if I were to relapse, you could be like, hey, I'm gonna take all these things away from you if you don't go to rehab, and I'll probably say, yeah, I'll go to rehab. But when you've taken things away at such a slow pace and you're already comfortable being homeless out on the streets,
nothing to lose.
There's nothing to lose.
That's scary, right?
It's scary.
Well, we saw a guy today. Yeah, he had something more to lose. He lost his leg, half a leg.
Yeah.
He had a stump, and he's going to lose the other one in another month.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't even know about the stump because he's not taking care of the stump.
Yeah.
So what do you think? This is always something I'm curious on too. Because like I've talked to like different schools and different places, and I kind of asked, why don't you guys talk on this more? And the truth is, well, if we admit that we have people do that here, then it's going to make our school look bad.
Yeah.
Or if we say that the parents are not going to pay for their kids to be here, all these things, just politics you hear and stuff like that. So,
but they're putting kitty litters in for the furries.
Oh yeah, that's
some
wild.
schools.
Yeah, Washington.
Cat litter boxes.
Yeah,
schools.
Because if you identify as a furry, you have to have a litter box to go to the bathroom.
Can you imagine this stuff? And they don't want to talk about it.
I love that stuff. I'm fascinated by it. I'm like, dude, that's so cool. Yeah. I'm like, the people are so unique. I'm like, that's awesome. But yeah, my question is like, what is the whole goal though? Because like my mind at least says in my head, I go, well, I know we can't stop it completely, right? You can't stop drug use.
No.
So what would the solution be that they can add to help?
Right.
What would you guys think?
Yeah,
I think first off is they need to come talk to people that work in the private sector, and before they write any more policies, they need to come down or invite a bunch of us up and have a discussion about what we can do to get people off the streets, how much it's going to cost, because you can't. I'm sorry, you cannot fix people for $1,500 a month. Yeah. You can't get them the help that they need for $1,500 a month. It takes a lot. It takes an army of people to get somebody who's been on this, just a regular drug addict like me. It takes a bunch of people working together to get us where we need to go. I mean, and AA is great, but the success rate isn't that great. It's only great if you work the steps and do the work and put in, but like we got to do more for the homeless. We got to do more for the fentanyl addicts. We got to do more for the veterans that are using or their mental health issues, because so many of the people that it's like they're using because of their mental health issues.
Right.
You know, they're using to as a solution to their mental health problems, and that's not the solution. I don't know the exact what's going to fix the problem, but we need to work together to fix the problem. That's what I know, because the policies that they write, I've seen them. They don't do anything. You know, California is like talking about opening up a certain amount of homes, like building, and they're spending billions of dollars to build all these homes for homeless people, but there's no solution to the fentanyl problem. You know, and homeless people will go back out on the streets so easily, if they're not getting actual treatment, especially if you have mental health issues. There's medications that are involved that can, help you get on the right track.
Yeah, I think it's like I kind of like what you said too, right? Because once a homeless person's okay with being homeless, okay, cool. So you get all these houses. Yeah, cool. Okay, then you bring them in, but it's just not the right vibe.
Right.
But we got the houses and this and that. I'm like, cool, they're going to go in there. If they feel uncomfortable, they know where they can feel comfortable by going back out because they're comfortable out there.
Right.
It's like there's so many moving parts that you got to be able to do too. And a lot of the times too is some of like the ways about going about things. Like, okay, here are your choices. I'm like, the choices kind of suck though.
Right.
Like, it still doesn't give me any hope if I was homeless. I'd rather be homeless than these two choices. You're telling me I got to do chores, this and that. Well, I'm out there. I don't got to do chores.
Right.
You're telling me I got to do this and that. Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
They have to find like, I don't know, like different ways of going about it and stuff like that. That's just my idea. Cause like one idea I had for schools is like, you should give every student fentanyl testing strips. They're going to do drugs. I don't care what you say. They're going to get high. Some people might hear us say, don't do it and tell them because you're going to die. Some people will be like, cool, I don't want to do drugs anyways. Right. Some people might say, maybe I should stop. But there's other people that are just like, oh, fuck these guys.
Yeah.
That's how I was as a kid. Fuck you guys. Whatever. You guys know
whatever. When I was a kid, it was Nancy Reagan was, she was an older lady, and she was her thing was just say no.
Yeah.
Did you hear that up in Canada?
Yeah, just say no.
You're Canadian, eh?
Here's your brain on drugs.
Yeah.
The frying pan.
Yeah. Oh, that too. That commercial. Yeah. They put here's your brain.
Yeah.
Here's your brain on drugs. Yeah. Any questions?
And it's like, I'm confused. I don't know what did that do for me?
I like a fried egg.
Yeah. That's cool. That's how my brain looks. Yeah. Or like the DARE program too. It's like when you have a cop saying don't do drugs, what are a kids going to do? Well, F the cops.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a kid mentality. I'm just saying, I'm not saying the cops are bad. I'm just saying that's how they think. So my whole way of looking at it is like, let's just be real. They're going to do it.
Yeah, they're going to do it.
What about giving them some testing strips with the students? So maybe if they're at a party, hey, let's test it, guys. Oh, damn, these e-pills have fentanyl. Hey, toss them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is something that's how my brain works when I'm looking at some way to add at least something.
Anything.
Anything to it.
Anything to stop the fentanyl crisis. Like anything to stop people from dying from fentanyl. I've said stupid stuff as far as like, can we just please go back to heroin? Because people weren't dying from heroin like they're dying from fentanyl. As stupid as that sounds, like I've been in this business for 22 years. And the last 3 years, I'm going to keep saying this until everybody hears it. The last 3 years, we've lost more people than we lost the first 18 years that I've been doing this.
Wow.
18, 19, 20, 21. Sorry, 19 years.
That's crazy.
I've been in the business for 22 years now. It's insane. I was a young man when I got here, 27 years old. House manager, what they used to call BHTs, behavioral health tech support staff.
Yeah.
Because we were all living back then.
Yeah.
We got paid like cash under the table and plus a room. We were just handing out meds. I mean, it was like unregulated and awesome.
Oh yeah, back in like 2008 when it started. Yeah, I remember like I wasn't working in it then, but I have a lot of people who were in it. And they're like, man, it was so easy back then.
Yeah.
You could do this, that. It was super fun.
We had a tiny little bit of paperwork. Now it's like BHTs are running around like, they got to do rounds. They got to do, do the meds. They gotta, all kinds of stuff. But, I think it starts with the conversation. The problem I see with county funded, state funded, federally funded programs is what they pay the professionals. You know, you have a social worker who's making $60,000-$70,000 a year pushing paper, isn't going to do as good of a job as somebody who works in the private sector. It's just a fact.
Yeah.
You know, you have to get good professionals, good doctors in, psychiatrists. I mean, you got to do full-blown treatment, you know, especially on the mentally ill. It's, you know,
It's a lot of work.
AA is
That's
not
a lot
going to
of
work for them.
No.
And it even says it in the AA
Yeah,
book.
go get outside help.
Yeah.
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 Is there a solution? Not really.
No.
There isn't one. Let's
There
face
is.
it.
There,
Well,
there's
what is there?
there's the fact that and look, I know that you do have to protect the country by you know, keeping the other superpowers from invading us. But when it comes to you know, spending money, you know, we sure are shipping a lot over to Ukraine, you know, and not shipping it very much into the fentanyl crisis. And these are our people dying on the streets from drugs that are coming from China into Mexico and up across the border. So a conversation needs to happen. It's a bipartisan issue, you know. Like they shouldn't even make a, you know, this or a that. Let's just come together and talk about it. And what are we going to do?
And I think that's the problem too. A lot of times, even in like these helping industries, it's still division. You would think, right? All treatment centers work together, but there's still that division. Like, no, we can't talk with them. No, we don't go there.
Yeah.
No, they're not good. And you hear it, you know, because I've worked with over like 50 treatment centers, and I'm an observer, and I watch and I go things, and I see and I go, man, it's funny how why some people want to be against each other.
Yeah.
Like, everyone should work as a team, but in life it's like that too. You know, with anything, you would think helping people, everyone would be on the same team, but you still get that division anytime money's involved.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why I always think it's weird, right? When there's money and someone's life's on the line, because it's such a weird place, right? Okay, when it's a car insurance, I get it. It's a car. They still, okay, whatever. Then you have other type of things, but a person's life, and when it's an addiction, right? An addiction, and then you have insurance. I'm like, oh, this is kind of weird.
Well, that's another problem that we talk about too, is the fact that insurance companies they want this rotating revolving door, because if they didn't, they would pay for long-term treatment, right? Instead of this, you know, 5 days of detox, 14 days of RTC, and then you're telling me at 20 days, 19 days, that somebody's ready to start managing their own medication and showing up to group and
Have their own spot, pay their bills,
Yeah.
get their own transportation. I know. I'm just like,
Right.
like,
stupid.
are you kidding me right now? That's not even a reality. It's not possible. The brain that like meth addicts, you know, opioid addicts, like cocaine, alcoholics.
Yeah.
Their brain's not the frontal lobe's not even functioning for a year to 18 months. You can look at Dr. Amen.
Yeah.
His studies on all of that. There's like zero activity in the frontal lobe. Zero. Maybe I can get a spot on Dr. Amen's
Oh, guaranteed.
show.
I can hook you up.
Huh? You
I
know?
can hook you up.
Yeah.
I know the national director.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
There you go. Hello, Dr. Amen.
Yeah, right.
I'll try.
I actually saw him on TV like the other day talking about
Yeah.
this stuff. And he's been doing it for a long
He's
time.
got 12, World 12 nationwide now. He only had one back here in Orange County back 10
Yeah.
years. Now he's got 12 nationwide.
It's got to be more than 10 years. He's been doing,
Is it? Yeah, maybe it's 20.
20.
Yeah. Pioneer for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's great.
And I think even back in the beginning, you know, other doctors kind of thought he was like kooky.
Yeah,
because he
wacko.
was,
Yeah.
this stuff isn't real. These SPEC scans, a SPEC scan, right?
Yeah,
that he
SPEC
does,
scan. Yeah.
aren't real. But I mean, 20 years later, and he's still doing it.
He's got some
There's-
big names.
There's something there.
Yeah, he's running some big names.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what are you doing now?
Yeah, so now in these like 5.5 years of my sobriety, I went total like obsessed over just getting like growing. So first thing I did was about 9 months sober, I got a job in treatment because I was still bartending, which I don't recommend.
No.
But that was my job, and I was in debt, and I take care of my mother.
Yeah.
Because when she got cancer, so first she lost her job when I was 21, and then she got cancer a year later. So I was paying all the bills and stuff like that. So when I got sober at 25, had two bartending jobs. And so, but luckily they were like family owned. And so the owners were super cool. They're like, look, I got honest with them, and they're like, okay, if you drink, you're fired. Sign this contract. If anybody that works here gives you a drink, they're fired. So I had a lot of support.
Nice.
So that's the only reason why I was able to do it. And I really wanted the recovery too.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So 9 months, I got over working there. I was like, all right, God, like, I'm just tired of like this. Like, now I'm triggered. Like, I want to party now. Like, get me out of this. But I'm a high school dropout. Like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Luckily, one of the regulars, my buddy was like, hey, you still sober? And I was like, yeah. He's like, my dad owns a treatment center. So that's how I got into working in a treatment. So I was a tech. And then from there, I was like, okay, cool. How do I get paid more money, though, working in this industry? Because I love it. Okay, we'll be a counselor. So I signed up for school to get my associates in addiction studies so I can get my CAD-C.
Yeah.
Well, the day I signed up for school, a week later, I get hired to be a counselor. I was like, I thought you needed your thing. They're like, no, you don't need it if somebody else has it here. I was like, cool. So I was going to school for that, working as a counselor. And then I graduated college, worked at another place as a counselor. And then I got my master's degree in theology.
Oh, good for you.
Did that. So I don't know if you guys know this, but like I'm one of the best jump ropers in the world.
No.
Yeah.
I watched you. I was going to bring it up. Yes,
Yeah.
I saw you. Can we pull him up
Is it
for the
on
jump rope?
Yeah. Is it on your?
It is.
It's on Instagram. Yeah.
It's on Instagram. It's sick. It is sick.
There's a lot of wild stuff in my sobriety.
Yeah, bro, it was
Lots.
wild. I was watching you.
So
I don't know how I
down.
forgot.
Scroll down.
I don't know how I forgot about that skip rope.
Scroll
It's
down,
incredible.
scroll
He
down.
said skip rope. That's
that what it is?
That's what they say in Canada.
Okay, that one right there.
we
Yeah,
go.
that one right
Yeah,
there.
there it is.
Let's watch this.
Is that what? Self-made Corona. What do you mean?
The gym.
Oh yeah, self-made. Yeah, it's not Corona. It's the Tussin one.
Oh wow.
Yeah, right.
I see literally YouTube reels of people jump roping all the time on my Instagram.
Yeah, it's real popular now. Ever since COVID, it got
really big. And it's I jump rope, bro. It's not easy.
And the rope, what people don't recognize too, when they see me jump. So only one person in the world can do this, which is my mentor, Buddy Lee, and he's an Olympic athlete in the 1992 Olympics, and he did all like the halftime shows at the White House. So he's like #1 in the world. And basically what I did was when I got sober, I just said, I want to do what he's doing. So my addict mentality kicked in, and I obsessed over jumping rope. And like, I got on the #1 jump rope channel. I got interviewed on another jump rope thing that
awesome.
and then all of a sudden people just started like following me and going like, dude, you're crazy. And another thing, the rope has this much space over my head.
Yeah.
Most people's ropes are this
hurts.
high.
They hurt.
So what people don't know is like, yeah, I have to be like perfect too with it. But yeah, so I started jumping rope, doing that. Had a lot of like attention around the world from that. I got the guy Buddy Lee who made the rope, which is wild. So when I got sober, I said, whoever made this jump rope, I'm gonna let them know his jump rope saved my life. A year later, he calls me, flies me out to DC. I get certified under him. He takes me under his wing. We're at Benihana's, and he goes, so what do you want to know? And I said, your jump rope saved my life. Wow. It's crazy. So this is when I saw manifestation working in my life. So right now, I'm working in treatment, counselor, got my master's degree in theology, became the CAD-C and all that stuff. And then, the jump rope stuff's happening. And then I was like, well, you know what? I really want to figure out a way to start working with celebrities. I feel like I'm going to be that guy because I used to DJ and I was, an athlete and all that stuff. So I made a YouTube video and I got somebody hit me up and I go meet this person. He's like, you don't know who I am? I'm like, no. He takes off his mask during COVID. And then he's like, you ever watch America's Got Talent? And I was like, oh yeah. He's like, I'm the guy who adopted the 5 kids that got to the finals, made Simon Cowell cry, Garth Brooks. And I was like, oh my gosh, my mom loves you, but I always ignore her because she's my mom. She talked about you years ago. He's like, yeah. And so, me and him became really good friends and I've been helping him out. And so it was like, oh man, well now I got like this celebrity guy came into my life. I manifested that.
Wow.
So now I'm doing that. And then from there, I was like doing the Instagram stuff, doing the vulnerability, all that. People were like shocked saying all this stuff. So I was getting on podcasts. I did a talent show. I went to Thailand. I've been to 11 different states, spoken in Hawaii. Like all these cool things were happening. And then from there, I was like, okay, well, I want to do my own thing now. So then I started my own group therapy business. So then I started contracting with different companies, all treatment centers, mental health. Yeah. Did that. And then that became super successful. And then I was like, okay, well, and I get bored easily. That's my thing. So once I learn it and I'm good at something, I'm like, I need to stimulate my brain. Or for me, it's like, if I get stimulated, then I'm going to relapse. Yeah. So I started training staff members in treatment centers. So I created a group facilitating staff training. Because I don't know if you guys know that, but even if you go to school to be a therapist, they don't teach you how to run groups. No. They don't. So, and most clients go, ugh, this group facilitator, ugh. So I started to recognize that. I was like, I got a gift. Because people always say, you're the best. Treatment centers will keep me, fire other people. and not from an egotistical standpoint, but it was just like, oh, I got a gift. One, I really love people. Two, I know how to speak. Three, I read crazy books and study speakers, and I went to school for it too, and I have the life experience, so I understand the art. So I was like, cool, how do I take this, create a program, train facilities? So I started doing group facilitating staff training, leadership staff training, communication staff training, the wisdom of working in treatment staff training, then business consulting, creating the program, creating the groups, hiring the staff, seeing how to train them, how you should set it up, what you can do, what you can't do. So I started getting into stuff like that, and just motivational speaking. The Magic House on Sundays, we have like 500 people.
Yeah, we want to get involved with that,
dude.
I've been contacting those guys.
Yeah,
Phil Aguirrella or something.
Yeah, so he's one of my mentors.
Yeah,
he's good.
We want to have him. I talked to him, but he said he'll call us back.
Yeah, he told me about it, so he'll make it.
Yeah,
but
now he's gonna make it. He wanted to talk to you after. Now you're gonna give him the green light. I know what's up.
I'm the marketing guy, dude. You got to go.
I know what's up with Phil. Don't worry.
Yeah,
I knew he was gonna test it. I told him.
I mean, we're the real deal. Not just the podcast, but like I've been around a long time.
Yeah.
I'm a OG in the industry.
Yeah.
I had my struggles, but so if you hear any stories out on the street, they're true.
All true. Yeah,
they're all true.
All true.
Yeah, but
all true.
I mean,
I love how you own it though.
Yeah, people get it wrong though. I mean, people really get it wrong, and but they are true, and but I've persevered. I've constantly persevered, and like we started, with just a little tiny. And I love hearing your success stories, man.
Yeah,
it's like
fucking awesome.
Like because we believe in manifestation here.
Yeah,
we believe that what you want, you need to manifest it.
Yeah.
And that's what, and I've done it so many times in the last 22 years of my life. I almost died in a car accident 5 days before my 22-year-old daughter was born, the one that lost her boyfriend. And I was sitting in LA with these Chicano gang members, and I had just been in a car accident 3 days prior. It was like 5 days prior. And I'm sitting there, and I smoked some weed with these guys, and I had just looked around the room, and I was like, man, I'm sitting with stone cold killers right here. Like, what am I doing with my life? I started getting paranoid.
The weed kicked in.
That was God weed.
Yeah,
that was God weed.
I literally never smoked weed because weed made me paranoid. Right?
Did its job.
Yeah. And I called my mom. I called my mom that night, and she was crying. And I said, "Why are you crying?" And she's like, "You just had a little baby girl." And I had that moment of clarity that we all need.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I think God left me here, because I should have died in a car accident. Like, literally rolled my car off the 10 freeway in Pomona and over and down the embankment. And I I didn't walk away from it, but like I walked away from it. And I knew God left me here for a reason. And this is 22 years later now, right? This is 22 years later. And I had nothing when I came to recovery. And I did what God asked me to do along the way. And this is what we have now. I mean, this building, all the treatment centers, it's just been an amazing journey. Now, I will admit that I've had a lot of good people in my life, such as my mom, my dad, my wife, my business partners, Shane, believe it or not, Shane. I met this guy like 12 years ago because I relapsed and was in a treatment center, and he was a counselor. That's how I met him.
Yeah,
nice.
That's how he met me. Yeah, that's crazy.
Cool.
Gave it up after him.
He
was the straw, bro.
He's like, that's him.
I'll never forget that drive down the mountain.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I was in a meth-induced psychosis.
Yes, you were.
Yeah,
yes, you were. It's crazy. I was scared. No, I was.
Yeah.
I was driving and thinking, man, is this guy gonna stab me? Or is he gonna jump out the fucking window because something bad is happening?
I was probably just gonna jump into the computer. That was
well, you grabbed it from the back seat and you kept going like this to it. And I'm like, bro,
calm down.
Take it easy. We're almost at the crack shack.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
Yeah, 12 long years, bro.
Yeah, so like I've relapsed as an owner of a treatment center. It's at the time it was extremely embarrassing, and I had a lot of shame and guilt involved with that, and it kind of kept me going in and out for a little while. And God had other plans for me. I like to say, and I don't hate cops either, because I feel like that they rescued me. because I don't think that I would be sitting here today if they wouldn't have came and picked me up.
Right.
You know, they got me to treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd put the opportunity. He's giving away 4 scholarships a month.
I know. I saw that. That's amazing.
It's huge.
Yeah.
You're talking 1.5 million a year, bro.
Yeah.
It's a lot. That's a lot of love.
Yeah.
It's a lot of love.
It's in the name of Justin,
Yeah.
because it's just too, you know, I can't let these, you know, just not doing it anymore.
And I think it's beautiful that you can even admit that I relapsed as an owner, because I think sometimes people don't want to share that, because that makes sense, right? Because judgment or
Yeah,
people,
of
this and
course.
that.
Yeah.
But I maybe you can relate to this too, but I always tell people, like, I go, you know, like, I struggle with thinking about relapsing a lot in my life, because it's the success, because of the attention, because of the praise, because of you're the speaker, the life coach, the hope dealer, you have 500 people at the Magic House, like, you got the DJ, you got the this, all these people love you, this, and that. I'm like, yeah, it's all cool, but that shit's stressful sometimes.
Yeah.
So much pressure's on me. I'm like, I can't mess up now, I feel like,
Right.
or the ego kicks in. I think it's me,
Totally.
and it's not that stuff. And then there's all these lessons of being humbled, and well, I can get away with it now. I got the money.
Yeah.
I can just go take
Oh,
some
no.
time off and
No,
do this.
It's so bad when you have the money.
Yeah, it's bad.
Like, it's not the same thing when you can go buy a pound of meth.
Right.
You know.
It don't affect you financially.
Yeah.
You know? I can take time off if I want to.
Yeah.
I can time it right. I'll be gone for about a month, guys, solo traveling.
See ya.
You know? No one will know.
Not good.
Yeah. Well,
like
the
that.
way he travels, though, it's not fun.
No, it wasn't fun.
It's not fun.
But you know, and you say, like, I'm sure people have said stuff, and, like, I don't care. I honestly don't care what anybody has to say about my life, because they haven't lived it.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that the man that I am today is a greater man than I would have been had I never had those struggles as a treatment owner. Like, I'm a different human being today, and my heart is gold. You know, it's huge, and I don't regret it. I really don't.
That's cool. So what helps you stay grounded in yourself? Because, and the reason why I ask this is because, like, something I like to always talk about too is, like, I tell people, like, people ask me, you married? I say, no. They go, why do you wear a ring? Is because I know myself. All the attention that I'm getting and the praise, one, I want to be respectful towards my partner and go, look, I love you. I'll put a ring on, even though we're not married, to let people know I'm married in that place. And I'll talk about you when I go on stage. Hey, this is my beautiful girlfriend right here. I want to shout her out first before I speak. Yeah. And I embrace it, because I know what, if I don't do that, I can set myself up for something.
Totally,
and that's
bro.
me being human, but me being humble. Like, hey, I'm not going to play it stupid, like thinking like it couldn't happen. And a lot of things I do too is I'm always like, I try to pick and choose who I'm around, where I go.
Smart.
Because I know if I go to this spot long enough, I'll join it.
Right.
And stuff like that. So, like, for you, what helps you stay grounded? Like you said, I have money, I got success. How do you stay grounded and not making those bad decisions when you know anybody can make it?
Well, for me, it took this last time getting clean, putting my head down, because I was the guy before with, you know, tons of followers on Facebook, because Instagram wasn't even in existence yet, and, you know, everybody got to watch me fall. It was bad.
At the Lambo.
Yeah, I had you know, top of the world, and the ego kicked in. I wasn't living for the right reason. I wasn't doing the work for the right reason. So that right there, that relapse, and after that, I decided to go silent, and I've been silent for all the way up until Justin died. So that's been, you know, 7-8 years. It's been a long time. 7 years. Silent. I had 97 followers on my Instagram. My Instagram was private, and it was only people that I knew. I followed like 200 people because, you know, it's kind of nerdy when you have like a lot more followers than you have. You know, that's how I saw it, right? But I was so happy, and the only reason I'm becoming out in the public again is because I have a purpose. And I don't care about, I don't need people to like me anymore. I just need people to follow me so that we can, you know, make a change, because too many people are dying. Like 300 people every day is way too many people. So I think that, because I finally got to a place spiritually, within myself, that like God has, and I have a gift too. Just, you know, I have so many gifts. God finally said, you can go use your gifts again. You know, I also have a gift at being a treatment center owner. I'm good at it. I've been doing it for a long time. It's the only thing I know. I don't know anything about podcasting, but I enjoy these conversations because I don't even think about it. When I'm sitting here having a conversation with you and Shane, I don't even think about the fact that somebody's actually going to listen to it. I'm having a conversation with you about your life and what you're doing, and trying to get people to come together, for a common purpose, and that's to make change for, the suffering people that, aren't getting the help that they deserve. All the way around, even private insurance. It's big. Yeah. It's a big deal. And I think you guys are out there doing the deal. I think that if we all start coming together, we can really make a difference. 100%. And I think that everybody has that same goal. Anybody that has suffered like we've suffered, they just want to help. We just want to help other people that are suffering like we've suffered, And like God literally left me here December 9th of 2000 so that I can do this. And I know that for a fact because it's 2023 and it's already happened. And hundreds and thousands of lives have changed, not because of me, but because the vessel that God has given me. Right. So yeah, that's how. That's amazing.
Yeah, I think if everybody could get together, that could be a huge thing. Because like when we threw an event 2 weeks ago, and we had like 20 plus treatment centers there.
Oh, nice.
And because the thing is, the way we do it, I think the reason why nobody does it the way we do it, it takes a specific person to allow that many people in their home. Think about it.
Right.
So my pastor Phil, he's been doing that his whole life. He had like 400 people living with him for free. So he was doing treatment centers before treatment centers were a thing. Mm-hmm. So, you have a person who was known for that and doing that. And then I came in the picture like 5 years ago, and I was kind of like the new guy. Everybody was from his world and stuff like that. And so I started telling treatment centers about this, but you got to come here, you got to come here. And then I'm bringing people. And some people I bring are people who stay. So then they bring people. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So then before I knew it, from just being the connector guy, I took a step back when we saw that event, and I was like, that's crazy. The musician was my sponsor.
Yeah, good guy.
Yeah, Michael Ketter, he's amazing.
Yeah, he's amazing.
And, the DJ was my sponsee, and then Alika, I brought Alika there, and Alika threw this event together. I'm like, that's cool. And then I look at all the treatment centers that I worked with, and they're all there because I let them know, and the program directors are cool, and they're like, we'll bring them.
Yeah.
And so, it's just wild seeing that too when you just start connecting people over a period of time. And it's like, dude, look what
we bring
happen.
ours,
Yeah.
We got 150, 200 people.
Bring them all.
Yeah.
Every Sunday we do a meeting.
Nice.
And it's recovery with flavor. It is. And right now it's like a revival. It's insane. We have people, it's just crazy what's going on right now. And people want to get baptized. We'll baptize you. We got
I saw you baptizing
drink.
people.
Yeah, we do comedy shows, car shows. Dancing. Like, if you got a gift, well, you sing? Yeah. All right, you're singing today. Wait, what? Yeah, you said you sing. Oh, you're a rapper? Cool. Go up there. Yeah. It's very like that. If you got a gift, we're going to share it. And so, I think if everyone could come together.
What's it called?
The Magic House.
Magic House. Where's it at? Fullerton?
Anaheim. So we have the house, and then down the street's the warehouse because it's been getting so big. So now we're like, oh, damn, there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And, so it's cool to see that, because I've seen it go from, at least when I got there for the Magic House version, it went from 20 people to now it's like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. I'm like, well, that's great. Crazy.
That's awesome.
And it's every week and it's free.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah. Well, people are attracted to you, bro. You got a lot to offer. I love this guy.
Yeah, well, I like all the guys in his circle, man. Yeah. I don't know how I fell across your guys' stuff.
Yeah.
But I was just like scrolling one day and I saw the what is it called? The Pro Recovery Power. Yeah. So I saw that. Then I saw who owned it, and then all of a sudden you guys all started popping up, and I was like, oh, these guys are this group of guys. Badass. I want to get them on the podcast. Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. It's something that's really cool, and it's cool to see how like a lot of people are going towards it too. Cause when I first went there, I was like, dude, this house is open 24/7. They throw parties. Everyone's sober. It's like, this is tight. Awesome. I need this. Like, I want to party. Tight. And it's just like cool. Cause that's the place that let me share my gift of speaking. And I learned and Pastor Phil, he's a lot of the way I talk and do things because of him, because he taught me, because he's straight. Like when I do staff trainings, it's like, all right, staff members, you guys ready? So here's some wisdom. You guys are the guards and the clients are the inmates. What do the inmates do? They're looking at you guys to see who they can get over. So be careful what you're doing, because they know exactly who they can lie to, who they can use, and all that stuff. Right. You know, just like little things he teaches
they're
me.
master manipulators. we are, you know.
Yeah, we are.
And not every staff member is in recovery. So, you know, if you're not in recovery, man, it's screwed. It makes it a little bit more difficult.
You just got to train them, I would say.
Yeah, you have to train them.
Because if I was a client, they're a normie, I could get over them. Right, that's how I would think.
Of course.
Watch this. Yep. I don't feel good. It's just a snap. You know, and back then it was crazy. I'm sure with treatment centers back then, people were getting tennis balls thrown over. They're delivering this and that. It was easy to get away with stuff. Yeah. And so people are like, oh, how do they do that? I'm like, because we're addicts.
I'm pretty sure I know. Like I've heard of Phil.
Chief?
Chief.
Yeah.
What did he do before?
He in the early 90s, he was a pastor, and he had a church of 8,000 people. And people would sleep there for 3 days just to get a seat.
Yeah.
No church has ever been like that, because it was the first church. It was hip hop, rock and roll, break dancers, and everybody that was there doing that were drug addicts, homeless people, you know, prostitutes, all that.
Yeah.
So
those are the people Jesus hung out with.
Exactly.
Man.
Yeah.
So he was the one person people said was doing it the most like Jesus, because he was doing that.
Yeah.
And he was going to concerts with Korn, on tour with Korn, and, you know, House of Pain, and all these like bands. You know, he married them too and stuff like that. He's mosh pitting and all this stuff. So it was so different.
Yeah.
So back then it was like, he even told me people would fly in to go to Disneyland and then go to his church. It was that big.
Wow.
And so he did that and stuff. And then, you know, he did it again in LA at the Dream Center. And then he did it again out here on another place. And then now these past, since I've known him, at least these past 5 years, was the Magic House he was opening up, his house, turning it into that. And it's kind of like now the new age stuff, right? It's the younger kids.
Right.
And stuff like that. So that's like where I came in too. And I just learned from him and learn, taking all his wisdom and trying to give it my flavor to it, to like the people nowadays.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Got to have guys like that in your life.
Yeah. And he's good. Like one piece of thing he tells me, because remember, Fausto, just because you're married doesn't mean you're going to wake up feeling married, but you are. You know, just stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's why I like that circle, because we're real. Like he'll call you out for everybody. He goes, hey, who got their heart broken yesterday? Fausto. Come on, Fausto, let's talk about it. Let's talk about how she got you good, man. Let's give her a hand on what she cheated on him. Good. He didn't see it coming. But he says that because he's like, look, dude, you got to understand, you had a part. You need to forgive her too.
Yeah.
How do you think she feels, right? I'm trying to do this. And once you can laugh at it, you're healing, and understand too. Like there was red flags since day one, Fausto.
Wow.
Yeah.
You need to be more aware. You know what I mean? But we're so real there. But it helps me, because a lot of the things that I can do now, or the way I talk, it's because he helped me get that way.
Right.
And like you said, I think everybody needs people in their life to just be real with you, in love, right? In love, you're still being real, but it's like, hey, like, be careful. What you're doing is amazing, but this can lead to a relapse. Well, what do you mean? You're gonna get a lot of praise, and you got a gift, and everybody wants you now. Be careful.
Yeah, you do have to be careful with that. You know, I think it gets easier as you get older, because I don't need anything anymore. You know, I'm about to turn 50 in January, so I'm 49 years old right now. Yeah. That stuff was harder for me when I was in my 30s.
I know I'm barely 30 now, so I'm like, oh gosh, help me, God.
Yeah, you
stay home, bro.
You have to.
You got to stay home.
You got to stay. You got to stay close to God, man.
Yeah, close to God.
And always praying to God.
Yeah, and that's
keep me humble.
And that's what I've been learning, because last year was my worst year of my recovery ever. I almost didn't make it. I almost died, literally. So my cousin died at the gym in July 7th. She was working out and she had a seizure, and we get a phone call and they're like, she's brain dead. I was like, what? And I have a small family of like 10 people, all women, because all the men left, you know, typical Mexican family. And I remember I go to the hospital and I'm just kind of like, wait, what's going on? She's dead. What do you mean? And, you know, so we pull her off of life support, and then I leave the hospital, and then I have a grand mal seizure in the car in LA, and I'm half brain dead for a month.
Wow. Shit.
So for a whole month, I'm thinking like, I'm dying. My cousin, I don't know how to process it. My cousin just died. Now I'm in the same situation, but I'm losing my memory. I'm like, I'd be talking to my girlfriend, and I'm like, wait, who are you? And I'm like, why do I keep doing that? It's almost like being on meth. I felt like I was going in and out of stuff. And then finally, the crazy part was when that happened, I go to the funeral, and I was back to normal. I was like, okay, God, I'm good. All right, let's just get through this. That was scary. And then I walk in the funeral, and the person who molested me was there.
Oh, shit.
I hadn't seen him in 15 years.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, God, are you fucking serious right now? So I played it off, called someone from AA, left. I was confused. I was like, God, you killed my cousin. You almost killed me. This is my mind, right? And then I run to my abuser. I'm like, what are you trying to teach me?
Wow.
So then I get 5 years sober, speak at Lifelines. I'm like, okay. But God, I still feel a little weird. So I pray in my car, God, I need a sign. Walk into my house. I get a phone call from my cousin. She's screaming on the phone. My aunt had a seizure. She's brain dead in the hospital. The mother of my cousin that died, now the mom's dead.
Oh, no.
So same scenario. And within 4 months of all this, I'm like, what the fuck is happening, God? Then all of a sudden, I hated AA. I hated the Magic House. I hated church. I hated God. I hated my job. I hated working in treatment, helping people. And it was scary because I was like, dude, if I hate all this, I don't think I'm going to make it.
Right.
This is what keeps me alive. It keeps me happy. You know, I didn't like my partner was annoying to me at the time. I felt like she was like, dude, you're so short fused. And I'm like, dude, I'm unhappy. I don't know what's happening. And I'm praying and I'm going to church and none of this is working. And so, but luckily I got past that. But I think what happened was, so that was in July last year. And then the lesson I learned in January was God was like, you're not as close to me as you think. You're prioritizing homeless people, addicts, and everyone outside, but not your family. Do you not realize that? Like, look, they're dying. They just died, and your mom has been sick, and you're not hanging out with your mom enough or your sister. And I was like, shit. And then he's like, are you really doing all these good things for God or for you? Mm-hmm. And I realized it is. Like, I have inner child wounds. I want to feel important, validated, but I'm doing good things, but I'm still getting validated. Yeah. So I was like, damn, I am doing it for me, even though it's good stuff. And he's like,
how'd you differentiate that, bro? That's a tough one.
So just me being honest with myself, you know, being like, I was thinking like, do I really do this in God's name or do I do it for me? And I had to get honest. It's like, I do it for me because I notice that when I don't do things, I feel like my life's falling apart. And it's because I'm getting validated through this stuff. So I had to be honest with this. And then I was like, okay. So then what I realized was God removed my need for validation through that experience. That's why I wasn't enjoying things anymore, because I wasn't getting the fix.
Right.
Now he's like, you really got to do it for others now, not just for you.
Yeah.
So once I realized that, I said, okay, cool. That's something that I needed to remove anyways in order to level up. I can't keep that. It's going to bite me in the ass. And then what happened was I started to recognize envy, because what I learned is when you want relief turns into feeling replaced. So I started to feel replaced. I was the guy the whole time. Now I don't feel like the guy the whole time. But this is what I wanted. I wanted to set boundaries and make time for my family, and I almost died. Like, I have to slow down. Like, I'm moving a million miles per hour. And so it was just a lot of like inner turmoil. But like you're saying, I realized I'm like, this is the season now to slow down and get close to God and trust that no matter where I go, God will take care of me, and not rely on people, places, and things to be the rocket ship to elevate me to those levels.
That can sometimes be the hardest thing, man.
It's so hard.
Is that faith.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
It's like
blind faith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's his time. I do it all the time. What if my census is low? I panic a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, I got bills to pay. Don't you know that, God? He knows that.
Yeah.
Put myself in check, like, you know, check the bank accounts right now.
Yeah.
Is there enough money to pay the bills today? Yes, there is. You know.
So yeah, it's been challenging. So like, cause in the past, cause like for me, how I'm trying to live my life, it's not normal. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the guy, I'm like, yeah, so now, you know, like, cool, I do groups here, and then I do podcasts, and I do this, and I travel and speak, I do Instagram. Okay, but I don't want to keep on doing this, so I got to create staff training. No one does this style of it, so I guess I just make it on Canva and try it out, and I'll sell it for this much. Oh, it worked. Okay, now I'm doing seminars at Christian rehabs because they want me there. I guess I'll charge this much. And so it's fun because I created this lifestyle, but the fear is like, there's no blueprint to this, that someone else did it this way. And inside of me, I don't want to go other routes. I'm like, I believe that I can create something with this way of living. And so now it's like having a lot of faith, because now I'm not talking as much. I'm not sharing as much. I'm not speaking as much because I'm trying to like pass the baton, because it doesn't have to be me. But it's difficult because I go, well, if I don't speak, then no one will know me. If I don't share, no one will want me.
They already know you.
and that's the thing in my head. They're like, Fausto, you've done a lot of cool stuff for 5 years. Everyone knows you, dude. Yeah. Like, you don't have to perform, but that's what it was.
Yeah, you don't have to perform every day.
Yeah.
It's almost more like, you know, you end up having this mystique to you when you only do it sometimes, because they already know who you are. They've heard it all, you know, and then you just come out. It's like I listen to a lot of motivational YouTube videos. I don't like listening to music really at the gym anymore. I just throw on my motivational.
Up, yeah.
And they always say it's like, you know, it sounds to me like you're kind of going into the dark room. You know, and you go into the dark room to work on yourself to come out more powerful. And when I say powerful, you got to be like kind of careful with the terms, because like you got your recovery, but you're coming out stronger, a better person.
Your vision intact. You're
Yep.
back to your vision, your new vision.
Yeah. The transition phase of learning.
Caterpillar.
And the transition phase I learned is hard because you're in a hallway, right? And so for me, it's like my whole life has been all this stuff, and now God's like, no, I'm leveling you up. That now you're now see this all that you did, be support, not the guy. But now I'm like, okay, God, but then where do I go? Like you said, the blind faith, and so God has put a new mentor in my life, a new community in my life, a new way of living, and now I'm just in this season of like, okay, I got to keep on. This is the new mentality. I don't listen to music. I'm always in silence because I'm making myself, okay, God, I want to feel you. What do you want me to do? And I'm not going to do nothing until you tell me what to do. All right, God, well, I'm not going to force this, so I'm just going to stay here. I'm not going to force it. If someone talks to me, then that's what it is. Practicing that mentality. And I have seen amazing things happen in 2 weeks that are just all God. So it's finally going like, okay, I see you're there. And now I just want to stay like that. Yeah. It's just hard because the old me is still there. And anytime I see an Instagram post of somebody where I should be, because FOMO kicks in, then I'm like, oh gosh, God, I'm messing up. God, I'm reading into God all wrong. I should have been there. Like, what am I doing? Like, I made time for my girlfriend. Darn it, I shouldn't have. I should have made time for them because that's my purpose. And then Fausto's, and then I hear in my head, if you don't water your relationship, she ain't going to wait for you. And I'm like, oh crap. But so it's just that battle back and forth of the new version of the meek me from the old performer me.
Right. It's good stuff. I like that you keep saying level up. Level up. We always have to level up.
Always. If you don't, you're stagnant. You're dying. Yeah. You're dying.
Sharks have to keep swimming.
Yeah.
Otherwise they die. Not that we're sharks, but
our addiction's like a shark.
Yeah.
It's coming.
I always feel more like a lion.
Yeah.
My spiritual animal is actually a lion. Yeah. So
I forget what my spiritual animal was.
An owl.
Owl.
Oh, okay. Ooh. There you go.
Yeah, whatever. Owl. Hedgehog.
What kind of okay, so we named the hedgehog. People were asking.
Bad name. It's generic.
I don't care.
He didn't even think about it.
His name is still Sonic.
Fuck. Sonic the Hedgehog.
He doesn't even look like Sonic.
No, he doesn't.
Not at all.
No.
That's why his name is Sonic.
Looks like a possum.
What do you think about that, Michelangelo?
You put in the special effects.
Yeah.
So what's next for you now? So you had a great 2 weeks. When we contacted you, what was your first thought? I'm back.
You want to?
Was it like that?
I love that you asked that. So it was actually, I remember it was the day of the event. You guys contacted me.
Yeah.
We did the big event, and I was super grateful because I've been practicing this new version of like not putting myself out there.
Yeah.
And so that day I remember was I'm just at the event and I was like, okay, and it's a new way because normally I'm saying hi to everybody. You know what I mean? Everyone, I'm that guy. So I was in the stage and I was like, if they come up to me, they come up to me. So I was chilling. I go in line to get food. And this lady comes up to me that I know, and she's the one that's starting the first responders program.
Yeah.
And she goes, hey, Fausto, oh my God, this and that. You got to come out and check it out, this and that. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, okay, yeah. I'm like, I could do some business consulting. Like, let's talk. So first thought was, damn you, God, you always got my back.
Yeah.
Like, look at that. I'm just chilling, like, and I'm looking for something different out of just doing groups and all that stuff. I want to focus more on business consulting, and there it was. Yeah. So that was the first thing. I was like, okay, cool. And then at the end of the night, I go on my Instagram and to look, and then, you guys message me. Hey man, we reached out to me the podcast, and I just went, I see you, God. Like, see, I just stopped trying, and like, cool. and you're promising me, like, don't worry about it, dude. Like, I got you.
Yeah, I had found you on Instagram the day of the event because the event was so cool to me, man. I was like, this is badass. Yeah. I was like, damn, I want to be there. Yeah, And
I sent me a few names.
Yeah, I sent them all over to Shane. I was like, here, message this guy, message this guy. Yeah. Great, man.
Yeah, good times.
Scott.
Wow. Yeah. Totally, man.
So that's how I received it. It was really helpful because I was getting very doubtful.
Wow.
And so I need signs. That's my thing I learned. I'm like Gideon in the Bible, man. I need signs.
Well, this could be like, this could be a whole new
relationship here.
Yeah. Arena of stuff.
Yeah, we feel good with you. Yeah. I'm talking for Chad now. I feel good with you.
I appreciate that. I do.
All right, he's smiling. We feel good with you.
I'm just laughing at you because you really are such a nerd.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. Nerds are cool now, though.
They are. I mean,
nerds are in, bro.
I was thinking like how nerdy we are.
Yeah.
We're like two older guys trying to
You're older. I'm still 40.
Yeah. Such a liar.
I know.
Don't tell anybody.
Don't tell anybody.
He cracks me up though because he's literally from like the middle of like right above North Dakota.
Yeah, right above North
like
Dakota.
Middle of Canada, Winnipeg. There's not a lot there.
Not much.
It's a lot of cold. It's
a lot
cold.
of snow, a lot of mosquitoes and snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And isn't it true? Like if you have any charges, it could be minimal. You can't go.
Can't
to Canada?
go. Yeah, we don't want you. Yeah.
Are you still allowed to go to Canada?
I am.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have a passport still.
A Canadian passport.
Canadian passport
So
and an American passport.
Does that mean technically it'd be a terrible idea to open up a Canadian treatment center in Canada?
You know what? They can't afford
in?
it. They can't afford it. They can't afford it. Canada has such a lower standard of living. You got a few states that's really prominent, but Winnipeg, I mean, I think average salary is 40 to 60,000 Canadian dollars a year.
Per household?
Per household.
Wow.
Yeah.
And tax rate is high.
Tax rate's high, but
everything's free.
Everything's free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Healthcare is free. Wow. You want to hear how bad the healthcare is, though?
It's a socialist government.
Yeah. You need to go get a surgery done.
6 months.
6 months. Yeah.
And if you're over 75 and you have a heart problem, just wait in line.
Wait in line.
Yeah, wait in line to die.
Or come to America and
that's what all the people do that can afford it.
And people who need treatment in Canada who can afford treatment, they just come to America anyways.
Over to Cleveland Clinic, or what's that place in Minneapolis?
Cleveland Clinic.
Cleveland Clinic. Then there's a Mayo also in Phoenix and Texas.
I thought they all went to Passages Malibu.
No.
I always love that. Was it the Body Brokers documentary? They're even with the guys in Malibu or something. He's like totally lost. Like what? What the client said?
Yeah.
Did you watch that movie?
I did.
It was horrible.
Yeah, a little
I mean, I lived that during that
time.
Yeah,
we did.
Era.
Yeah.
They very much exaggerated stuff on. Obviously,
it has to be. That's entertaining.
It's Hollywood, but they weren't even close on like some of the like dollar amounts that they were saying. I was like, that's not even close. But that was a bad time, and it kind of ruined our industry. I will say that here we are, 2023. That as far as I'm concerned, I don't see it anymore at all. Like I don't see it. I'm sure somewhere out there it's still happening, but I don't see it at all. A lot of the bad players are gone. People that were MBAs and not in it for the right reason, they're not in it anymore because this isn't a cash cow anymore. It's like literally back to helping people. Yeah, I've been in the industry so long that when I started, it was all cash pay. We didn't even take insurance.
Who started the body brokering thing? Like when you look back, like how did that idea start in that industry?
It just morphed.
It morphed from the two laws, the Parity Act and the Affordable Care Act. So when parity, everybody, you have to pay for mental health, just like you pay for
substance abuse.
No, just like you pay for regular health care. So that came in, and then when the we all call it Obamacare, but it's actually called the Affordable Care Act. Those two things combined brought that together. Now everybody has insurance. Insurance companies didn't know how to pay us, so they were paying extremely well. Like Blue Shield of California. Like, do you know anybody that takes Blue Shield of California insurance currently?
Not off the top of my head.
Yeah, we have to like find in-network programs. It's really hard to find a bed for them. But in 2015, that was a really good paying policy. But people ruined it. They ruined it. Just like anything else that's good, right? Mm-hmm. And this wasn't like, I mean, I'm sure addicts ruined it too. Got a little crazy. But it was like business people coming in and ruining this for us, and taking advantage of the system at the time.
And I think that's why I've seen that a lot too. And it's like somebody's not in recovery and they own it. You can see how it can have a downfall. You can see it And it's not like, it's like, oh, I get it. They don't understand, because some people are like, well, just tell them not to freaking use. Like, it's that easy. They're stupid for using. I'm like, you can't talk to them like that, dude. You can't do that. Okay, yeah, but dude, they're getting high. Well, right, well, just whatever. Just tell them don't get high anymore. I'm like, bro, it doesn't work like that. They're just charging and all this stuff's happening. I'm like, just let them smoke weed then or whatever.
I mean, in my early days, and when it's still a cash pay business, somebody would and I worked with people in the beginning that were business. I worked for treatment centers that were business people, and they were like, somebody relapsed, they would be like, you need to go call them and tell them that to pay $2,500 or they have to come pick up their kids. And I was like, I'm not comfortable doing that. That's like extortion. Yeah. But like, there's always going to be bad players, man. It's just like
anywhere you go.
Yeah.
Any industry.
Every
right?
industry.
Anything.
Everything.
I just try to do everything for the right reason now. We're just trying to help another addict get sober and change their life.
So what's kind of like your vision now with your treatment centers? Like what do you want to do next with them? Or
just continue to grow the Infinity Group, nationwide. We currently have 6 programs, but we're all in California. We're currently looking at Texas and Massachusetts and Tennessee. Stay out of Florida, most likely. Just continue to grow. I have a really good team at the Infinity Group, great business partners. And I'm the visionary, so I have the vision, and I go out and I let them know what it is, and they're really good at putting it together.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's fun stuff.
Yeah.
They help me with the podcast. They, help me with the veteran stuff. Shane works a lot with the veterans. That's his like niche. They say niche or niche.
Niche.
Some people say niche.
Niche.
Do you say tomato or tomato?
I don't say tomato or tomato.
I
don't need tomatoes.
You say no tomatoes.
No tomato or tomato sauce.
No answer.
No. We want to get invited down to the Magic House. We want to meet your boys. We want to hit the streets with you guys.
Yeah.
Because we hit the streets once or twice a week. I know you guys, Fullerton there, right? Anaheim. They got a homeless population. Mm-hmm. We want to help. We want to get down there. We want to spread the word. We want to bring some food, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I got to hook you guys up. Have you guys heard of Anthony Brown?
No.
Oh, I'll connect you with him. But he, Dr. Drew works with him now.
Oh,
and,
nice.
I've interviewed him a couple of times, but he got a mansion in Ohio where he's from, and he's trying to build his own, because he's going to school for like getting it like for med and all that stuff too, because he wants to be able to give the medication too.
Yeah.
He's really big in the homeless community. Wrote a book too, From Park Bench to Park Avenue.
Wow.
And he's a good people to talk to, because he's like, I'm trying to create a different way about going about it.
I might know that guy.
Yeah, because he's cool. Because he's like, I'm not doing it in LA, because like, there's just too much going on in LA. It's like, it's not going to work. I'm going to do it in Ohio.
Yeah.
He got a big mansion, and he's trying to create his own way of doing it for homeless people too.
Wow.
He's
That's
a good
really
guy to
cool.
connect
We
with.
want to help him.
Yeah.
We want to help him.
Yep.
So I can
Yeah,
link you
we
up
want
with
to help
and
him,
stuff
bro.
like that.
Yeah, for sure.
And every Sunday, 6:30 p.m., we're at the Magic House.
Okay, good.
Nice.
That
Cool.
could affect our basketball.
What?
That could affect our basketball.
Oh, currently we're on we play on a basketball team on Sunday nights. But we could they don't actually need you and I.
They don't. It's true. It's true. We
like-
could skip a game and go to the Magic House.
Yeah.
We don't play anyways.
Yeah. I played 2 minutes last game.
You did?
Yeah, that was all I could do.
Yeah.
So, so just let me know, because
Yeah,
this
for sure.
this Sunday I won't be there because it's Persian New Year, and like I said,
Yeah.
water my relationship,
yeah,
so I'm
of
doing
course.
that.
Good for you.
So, but the Sunday after, we can let me know
Yeah.
if you want to make
Yeah.
it, and then we can all meet
be there
there
for sure.
I'll introduce you to everybody.
Yeah,
Cool.
that'd be really cool.
Yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, that'd be fun, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming down.
Yeah, for sure.
This was really
Appreciate you
good. I
having
feel.
me.
Thanks for taking a chance on us, man.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for hitting me up. You
Yeah, of
guys are
course.
part of my story now. When I was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, God, what are you doing? It's
Yeah.
cool to see how things work
Yeah.
out like that.
That's good stuff.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, we're part of.
You're part of our. I mean, you're one of the first 20 on the podcast.
Yeah.
So, like probably like. Do you know where we're at? About 15, 16? 13?
Yeah, we're fresh.
Yeah, fresh out the gate. Plus, we'll have you come back.
Let me know.
Our goal is to. We have goals. Like, I don't want to be. Think small. When we have 1 million subscribers.
It'll happen.
Yeah, it's gonna happen for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Manifest it.
Manifesting it.
Yeah, we
I am.
are.
We already manifested that we're the #1 podcast in
Mental health
and addiction.
You are.
Yeah.
It's already there.
Guys like
It's
you,
it's
Anthony
already there.
Brown on the thing. We get who knows? I mean, we're connected to Anthony Brown, and all of a sudden we got Dr. Drew sitting right here.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
A lot can
Cool
happen.
with that, a lot can happen. Yeah,
A
this
lot
is
can
happening,
happen.
bro.
Yep. overnight.
Yeah.
You know, just gonna keep trucking along.
Have you guys ever been to Lifelines Recovery?
Yeah.
Pastor Randy?
Yeah, we know Randy. I know Randy. Yeah.
Get him
We
on.
did.
He's cool.
What ended up happening is we went to his event,
Care Possible?
Care Possible event, and we met this guy Luke
And Fernando.
and Luke and Fernando was on. Go back and look at Fernando Arroyo. What's the full title?
Fallujah.
The Shadow of Death. Yeah, he was on our pod. He works for us now.
Oh, nice.
He's a case manager downstairs, and Luke's works with Shane and you know helps with the veterans that we have in house, because we have pretty big veteran program here.
No smoking in the building, bro.
You can smoke.
I'm joking. I'm joking, bro. I wanted to see your face. That's all.
Oh, my childhood wounds come back. I'm like, I'm a failure. I'm a fuck up. I'm not good enough. You just proved it to be right. I'm like, oh, I'm dying now.
Hey, just
I mean,
in our
I
face.
think it's kind of cool because like I quit vaping a little bit over a year ago.
Yeah.
I'd have vaped in here, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But
But it's stinking in here.
smoked out.
Yeah.
I'm trying to quit so bad.
Nah, whatever.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I smoked the big one, the one with the
the
batteries,
tanks.
and you got to.
Yeah,
Here,
one of those
tickle,
guys.
Crackle, 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 crackle.
Yeah, one day I was outside and I, when I'm like actually the CEO of the Infinity Group or Hope by the Sea, I'm in slacks and a tie, and I was outside sitting out there and I was hitting my vape and I looked at myself in the door of the building, and I go, "You're a fucking old man. This doesn't look cool anymore." Like.
I know.
Blowing big ass clouds.
Huge clouds.
I went home to my wife and I was like, we got to quit. This is like, our kids hate it. We vape in the house,
Yeah.
we don't vape anymore.
Yeah, good. I grinded you for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went on the patch for
I'm a fucking nag.
5 days.
I am a fucking nag.
He really is.
I am.
Like, if you have a health problem,
I'm on
tell
you.
him. Tell him you have a health problem because he will nag you until you go to the doctor.
Oh yeah.
I don't
get
like
better
to go
under
to the
my
doctor.
watch.
I get shocking pain in my
Yeah.
neck. Feels like electricity.
Really. I got a guy.
But
I have
actually,
one of the best chiropractors in the business for
is
it.
his name Dr. Voss?
Yes, it
You
is.
better tell him to watch the podcast. He was
He will. He was mentioned.
yeah.
He was mentioned.
Yep.
Yeah, I got
He's
a guy.
really good.
Cool.
Yeah. Like, I mean,
We'll get you in for free once. We'll give you the
fir-
first one
the
for free.
first one with Dr. Voss is free.
Yeah, I've done
You'll be
like
back.
I got like at one point I went vegetarian at one point for a year. I meditated for an hour every day for a year. I read
Wow.
a book a day for a year.
A book a day?
A book a day.
That's crazy.
And then I did ice bath at Wim Hof.
Yeah.
I started
I've
going.
been thinking about
Dude,
that.
I've been going. I used to go in the snow and swimming trunks.
Yeah.
No shirt. I have pictures of it too.
We were thinking
there.
I just
about
mentioned to him,
we were
yeah.
thinking about just doing a reel every day
Yeah.
of me and him getting in a nice
Not together.
You have to do it together.
Yeah, we
though.
will now.
That's gonna get
We
you
have to now,
followers.
for
Yeah, I'll
sure.
get you
Yeah.
followers.
One of those,
One person.
one of those
like,
black
next.
barrels where we stand. Yeah.
Yeah, stand it together like
Yeah,
this.
nose
It's
to
like, how do you
nose.
feel right now?
Right, we'll actually be chin to top of his head. Okay.
Your beard's touching me. It's
Chad
like,
will be
yes,
breastfeeding.
perfect.
Chad will be breastfeeding while we're standing next to each other.
Oh God.
But yeah, I did that. I held my breath for 8 minutes. I was
Really?
in the ice bath, 100 pounds of ice. Took people in the snow. We went half naked for hours, and our body was warm.
Wow.
Because that stuff fascinates me. Like
Fascinates,
I love
yeah.
reading and learning.
It's good for
and
cancer
trying.
too, that Wim Hof stuff. The breathing,
Tons
all
of
of
stuff.
it. All of it. Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah.
I do
beautiful.
audiobooks. And I was really impressed with the fact that for like I was on a roll of like one book a week.
Yeah.
And you're telling me
One a
like
day
you're
for a
reading
year.
Oh yeah.
one a day.
Yeah. Like my mentor right now that I just got 2 weeks ago, I've already read 6 books.
Jeez.
And even he was like, I like working with you because I'm like, yeah, dude, give me another book. Like, give it to me. I'm gonna read it.
Wow, that's cool.
Maybe it's because I got daddy issues and I want you to be my dad, right?
Yeah.
Subconsciously. So it feels nice. I'm like, yeah,
that
I
is
did it.
hilarious.
But you know,
That is. Thanks,
Look at-
Catherine.
she's leaving. She doesn't want to do the podcast. You want to come in? You got to come on camera though.
An Uber? Oh, nice. Congratulations. Okay, yeah. Wow, of course.
There is a charge on your thing, Discover, that says 51.
That's fine.
Decline it. No, it's not. I canceled it.
Oh, okay. All right, thanks a lot.
He's going to call you.
Okay, thank you. And I'll call you.
Oh, sorry. And Nathan called.
He's a what?
Nathan called.
Okay.
He just wanted to check in.
Okay. Okay, nice. Thanks. Life is good, bro. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, life is good.
Well, yeah, man, this was
Yeah,
good.
so 4 scholarships a month.
Yeah. Yep.
Obviously, we have a little criteria, show a lot of willingness, and it's tough because we're getting some letters, and you got to pick and choose, and it's like you're picking and choosing people's souls. It's nuts. I didn't think we'd have such a tough time, but it's hard.
It's really hard.
It's really hard.
So you guys get a lot coming in.
Yeah. We have like 4 of them right now.
I had to say no to some guy the other day.
Yeah.
He asked why.
He didn't have, when we ask if you're willing.
If you have another place or willing.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing is too, is if you have another place that's already accepted you.
Yeah.
If you've been accepted into another program.
He had a state place.
Yeah. That was free.
Yeah.
I mean, we need people that don't have that.
Opportunity.
The willingness has got it. The real willingness to.
How do you guys measure that?
Phone call. We put him on speakerphone, and him and I ask him questions.
I want to hear your voice crackle.
Mm-hmm.
This is your life.
Do you guys ever have like people personally that maybe like you might know the person that's like, hey, they really
one of the letters is from somebody we know.
Yeah,
I know her.
Mm-hmm.
So I have another one. I have another person that hit me up on Facebook Messenger. I got to call her back after, but yeah,
that's cool that you guys are doing.
Yeah,
it's
heartbreaking though.
It is.
It's heartbreaking.
It's a lot of people. A lot of people want help, and they don't have the means anymore. Mm-hmm. One of the girl that's on my on our Instagram. Man, I think she's like this close. We're gonna pluck her off the street and put her in. She's this close to coming. I can tell she doesn't want to be there anymore. It was a good interview.
Yeah. If you guys want to, with Chief, he takes people in for free. But his program is he interviews you too, because it's beans, rice, Jesus Christ. You ain't get no phone, ain't no Netflix, but it's free. And he has ranches all around the U.S. And so when some people will hit us up,
it's awesome.
And he'll send them there because it's free. And again, it's up to them, but there's no harm, no loss. Right? If you want to go for it. It's hardcore.
But yeah, what's that place called?
The Ranch.
The Ranch. Mm-hmm. Beans, rice, and Jesus Christ.
That's awesome. Yeah. I fucking love that.
Yeah.
Beans, rice, and Jesus Christ. Yeah. And I'm a Jew and I like it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you know that about him?
I knew he was, because earlier he's like, I'm a Jew. I don't know how I can use my hands. I use my head. I'm like, yo, the Jew supports it, guys. Like, let's go.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
He's
Beans,
already,
rice, Jesus Christ.
He's already in. See, when you're Jewish, you're already in. You're just straight there.
Yeah. Still got to be nice though.
Do you?
Oh yeah. Because you can't sleep at night, bro.
Yeah.
Can't sleep at night.
Right.
Take a sleeping pill.
No. No, I got 3 kids and a wife and some duties now. I'm, up early to bed early. Yeah. Nothing good happens after 8 o'clock.
After
eight's like really early, like another level.
You get.
Yeah, it's actually 10, but
sorry, bro. It gets dark at 7:10. You got 40 minutes to get home and in bed for 8.
Yeah,
that's it. Nothing good happens after 8 o'clock.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm in bed at 8.
Yeah,
I get up at 3. That's 7 hours.
That makes sense. Yeah. So, is that something you guys prioritize too when you get busy, like sleep still?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't buy into all of the motivational speakers bullshit on because I'm probably more successful than a lot of the motivational speakers
right?
that are telling you what to do right in life in general. And so I don't buy into the you have to stay up for hours or days or you've got to be
outwork these people by staying up later, waking up earlier.
You can outwork people and still get 6 hours of sleep. I think that people need 6 hours of sleep. Now my dad was a physician, and for a lot of his life, he got 3 hours of sleep, and he did that for a long time. But he was a doctor. Some of when he worked in the emergency department, sometimes he would work those 3 hours wouldn't even be consecutive. It'd be an hour and a half over here and an hour and a half over here. But I don't think that's healthy.
Yeah,
like for you physically, So I take everything that the motivational speakers say. I take the really good stuff that applies to my life, and then I leave the rest. Like David Goggins gets me injured at the gym.
Yeah.
Like
I love Goggins. So.
he's
Gotta
my
stay hard so you don't get home.
he's my favorite. Like, I mean, he's like my favorite, but I get on the treadmill and I put David Goggins on, and like, you know, I pull a hammy because like, he's like, you when it hurts, you keep going.
Keep on going. Oh, you want to give up?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because you suck.
You suck.
Yeah.
You're like, damn, dude, I don't want to suck.
Yeah.
Oh, you're thirsty? Lick your lips.
Someone call you fat? Yeah, you are fat.
No,
He does say that.
I can't admit that.
He does say that.
He does.
Yeah.
You're fat,
He
fat
says that.
motherfucker.
Yeah,
You're
you
fat.
might be.
Yeah, own
If
it.
so-
Oh, you can't
this
study
is what he
because
says.
you're
He said, "This is exactly what he says." He said, if somebody calls you fat, it might be because you are a fat motherfucker.
And I'm like, damn, dude, he's right.
Yeah.
It's just funny because when I first heard him, you know, my addict mentality, I was like, oh, I'm meant to be a marathon runner.
Yeah.
So I was literally running half marathons every week and going, Goggins, go,
Yeah.
until I got hurt, you know? 'Cause
Yeah.
it's that
Dude,
mentality.
I was listening to Goggins and I was out of the gym for like 6 weeks because I like pulled my ab. It's like, dude. I think like maybe like when I was in my 20s,
Yeah.
I could do what Goggins wanted me to
Right.
do, but like at 49 years old,
chance.
it's not happening.
No.
And I'll just be going, I'll be like, yeah, my knee hurts, but so what?
Goggins can do it.
Goggins can do it.
Especially when he ran the 100 miles and
Yeah.
he broke my ankles, my shins, I'm shitting, pissing.
I know.
Yeah.
But when I hit 70 miles, something came upon me.
Yeah.
I hit 30 miles straight. I'm like, damn.
God entered my life.
I just read his last book and I was like, oh my God. Yeah.
Well, the last one
I
read
hope
on-
someday he hears this part because
Wouldn't
I
that be
talk
cool?
about David Goggins
do.
almost
You
every
do.
single
I love David
podcast.
Goggins.
Somehow it needs
Because
to go. Can you tag David Goggins in the?
You might call.
Yeah,
Who knows?
I would love to have him
Yeah,
on the
for
podcast.
sure, for
He's
sure.
awesome. I'd also love to have the other Navy SEAL that I like a lot, Jocko.
Jocko Willink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. He's on. Have you ever? I don't know if like for me and Shane, I think because we always listen to motivational stuff.
Yeah.
So the only thing you scroll on my Instagram reel, it's only
Only one.
only
picture.
that.
Yeah.
The algorithm knows that. for
Yeah,
you.
it knows that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
Jocko, or it's stuff
Yes.
that people have made with their voices.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
So what I do every day is I just go in and steal their stuff. I screen record it. I make it my own and I post.
I don't know how to do that shit yet.
I know you don't.
Yeah, you see me put up in your stuff. That's why I like when you send me things. I just repost it. Send me more.
Well, I just started tagging you because
Yeah.
now we have the Hopeaholics. So
Yeah.
before that, we had the Hopeaholics. I didn't want Shane sharing my shit.
No.
I had 97 followers.
Yeah.
They were personal and intimate.
I had 103.
Do you ever feel, this is something that I kind of thought, like, I always thought, like, for addicts, maybe certain motivational speakers are not good for us.
No.
because we're going to take it to another level, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And they tell, like, I remember they told me, this is how I take it, right? You got to wake up at 3 a.m. before everyone. I'm like, what happens if I just don't sleep?
Right.
And I will get there faster, right?
Yeah.
And it's almost like go is not our problem. It's slow's our problem.
Yeah, that is.
And so, like, I know, like, for me, I was like, I have to be careful who I listen to now because, so, like, I try to listen to people who are either addicts before because they're kind of the opposite. They're like, hey, let it come to you.
Yeah.
Hey, slow down. Hey, just lean on your higher power. I'm like, I need that.
There's that other guy from Canada. That's a
Peterson,
motivation.
or yeah, the
no,
older
not
guy.
that guy. No, there's a
Jordan-
young guy.
Oh, a young guy.
That is a recovering addict.
Yeah.
No, Jordan Peterson's a therapist.
Yeah,
he's
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 good.
badass. A
I love
psychologist.
Yeah,
he's
he's good.
badass.
So good.
There's a young kid from Canada who I'll send you guys when the next time I'm scrolling through and he pops up. I'll send him to you guys. He's I can't think of his name. He's cool. But he's still like he's like that too though. He's an addict and he's saying the same stuff that all these other guys are saying, and I'm like, well, you know. And but I do get up at 3:00 because I want to be up before the people that wake up at 4. But it's only because I'm running right now.
Yeah.
When I'm not running and I stop doing that, the cardio and stuff, I'll go back to 4:00. That's what time I need to wake up just to do my weightlifting. But since I'm doing like about 45 minutes of cardio every day, I need that extra time. So
Yeah, that's why I like Gabriella Bernstein. So she's a motivational speaker. Oprah Winfrey's like right-hand woman. They do like an interview, but she's an AA. So she has like maybe 18 years now.
Nice.
And so the reason why, because when I read her books, I was like, oh, I like this language because she's all about like slow down. You need to chill. Like if it's meant for you, it's gonna come. Like, you know, like just figure out what you want in life, help others, and you know, and if you align with it, it will happen.
Yeah.
So I like her because that's the language that I need. And it's wild because when I got cheated on and lost my home when I had 3 years sober, that was my Christmas present.
Wow.
And sobriety was crazy. And a week later, I was like, God, if you're real, have her choose me to be on her podcast. I know she's got 1 million followers, but if you're real, I just got cheated on. You took away my home. Damn it. I know it's not you. I know you're real, but help me. And she actually chose me out of like 30,000 people to be on her podcast in that moment. It was crazy. And I asked her that question. I'm like, you're an addict just like me. I want to be a speaker like you. How do I not let my addiction like fuck me up? She's like, you got to slow the fuck down, honey. Yeah. I was like sick. She's like, dude, just chill. Like your 50% is someone else's 100%.
Yeah.
So when you think you're not doing enough, you're doing way more than enough.
And I'll tell you something, even before I was an addict or before I thought I had a problem, I would have a 3-hour workday and complete my 8 hours compared to the next guy when I just had a normal job. I had that. And I knew I was special. You know, is that weird?
I don't think that's weird at all.
Like I knew I was different. I completed stuff earlier than a lot of other people.
Right.
In school, no. I didn't like studying. I couldn't
I was
stand
copying your homework.
Yeah.
The day right before class.
Yeah.
That was
me too.
That was
me
school.
too. But when it came to
as
business,
soon as I got a job,
I excelled.
I was
like
the
crazy.
guy that excelled.
Yeah. Hundreds of thousands, millions of people, just everything flew into my lap. Still flying into my lap.
Right.
Yeah. Because we're doing the right thing, bro.
I think when you're aligned with God and and you're those things are all aligned, it seems to just kind of happen, you know. All of the all the hard work starts to pay off.
So how do you guys, and this is me asking for myself too, from you guys, what advice do you have for people who are doing kind of chasing this level of success, you would say, right? Trying to help people do a lot of things. A lot of good things are happening. What advice do you have when they're in moments of nothing's happening? What happened? Everything good was happening. I'm doing everything right. Why is everything stopping? What advice do you have for that person that's in that moment so they don't give up?
Oh, it's hard.
I don't know, because when you're saying that, I just think about the one that as you're saying that, I think about that thing that Kobe Bryant says is just enjoy the journey. Mm-hmm. You know, the dream is the journey. You know, and sometimes there's setbacks or there's slow times. Mm-hmm. You just keep going. You know, you just don't stop and enjoy the moments that are happening around you.
I mean, things are happening for a reason. If you're living over your means, God's telling you to slow down, sell your home, live a little lighter. You know, but if there's stillness, help someone. Always help someone. That's always the answer, no matter what. Pick up the phone, call someone, help someone all the time. Because what you're talking about is if God's coming to you and saying you're losing a job, you're losing your home, sell your home, buy a smaller home. There's a solution to all that. Mm-hmm. You're living in excess. There's always lessons and rules you got to abide by.
Yeah, because I think the thing I struggle with is when what I want is being given to somebody else who who has just showed up.
Yeah.
And I've been there the whole time. You know, and it's that kind of like that envy kicks in of like, okay, God, why him and not me? Right? That's like the human way of looking at it.
Because God has something better for you.
Yeah.
That's what I always try to take in and like trust it, because I see it like that, and then I'm like, okay, God, I'm gonna stay in my lane.
Yeah.
Wait, what happened for them? What the hell? I wanted that too. Okay, never mind. I'm just kidding. Wait, what? They got that too? You know, it's like,
and you have to stand and never, to try your hardest not to focus on what other people, what's happening in other people's lives. Yeah. I notice that sometimes people focus on what's happening in my life, and that sometimes people try to mimic it, and it's not going to work for them because they're not me.
Yeah.
And their destination or their journey isn't anywhere near the same as what mine is. So I think that people just really need to find what is true to themselves, and that's your dream. I never thought that I would. My dream was never to be a treatment center owner until God left me here after that car accident, and then and I didn't know I was going to be an owner at that time. I thought that I actually thought a counselor. I thought God wanted me to be a drug and alcohol counselor.
Yeah. How did you get into owning it? What did that look like? Because you said you started off as a tech.
I started off as a driver. I drove the big old the white van, the druggy buggy. Actually, I think I had the alcoholer, or maybe the Ativan. I'm not sure which one. I had one of those three that I drove on it. So I did that, and then I became a house manager, and then I went back to Saddleback College, started going to school to become a drug and alcohol counselor. Somewhere along the way, I got my foot in the door of administration, and I realized that I didn't really like people that much.
Your logistics.
Yeah. I mean, people, I get so nervous when people are in crisis.
We need an ACA block.
Yeah. I'm like, Shane, can you come help?
Yeah. I know.
I'm like, even
Is
Peter.
that your thing?
Yeah. So I was really good at the administration side. I was good at the marketing, the advertising. I loved that. The traditional business development. And no, I can't. I shouldn't do that. That's if you're talking about body brokers.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about body brokers.
No.
I'm talking about the traditional, where we would actually go to conferences. We'd have a booth.
Networking and stuff like
Networking.
that,
Yeah. That's what we did back in the old school days. I loved it. I went to my dad when I was 2 years clean and sober, and I said, hey, I'd like to open up just a little 6-bed treatment center. He was retired at the time. He's like, hey, that sounds like fun. Fun. Like 10 years later, after we'd opened it, I realized I opened a business that never closes.
Yeah.
Like some people are like, hey, let's open a store, right? And you have you have hours, 10 to 9.
Yeah, close 9.
Yeah, close at 9. Think about it. And never does a crisis at a treatment center happen between 8 and 5.
Right?
Like never. It's like, that's like a rare thing, right?
Yeah.
The crisis happen at like 7, 10, 11, But when so we opened up a 6-bed treatment center that has grown into, Hope by the Sea's grown into 80 beds, all full continuum of care. This building that you're in is a 30,000 square foot building with a full indoor Lakers basketball court downstairs, a full
awesome.
gym.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the clients come here?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They do groups and stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yep. The PHP and IOP clients come here. So we have residential. We have all levels of care at Hope. And then I started the Infinity Group during COVID because it was getting hard to manage different treatment centers. And I thought if I brought my whole team together to manage them all, they all had like their own special lane that they were really good at. And so we had, at that time, we had 2 treatment centers. Then we started Serene Behavioral Health, and then we bought Howard Lodge, which we have recently changed to Hope Lodge because it didn't make sense to have the ex-owner's last name as the name of the lodge, right? That's up in Lake Arrowhead. Ken Seeley's a friend of mine. Do you know him from the intervention show?
Oh, was he one that was on here, right?
Yeah, I sent. Yeah, his episode hasn't aired yet.
Okay,
it's coming out. He was like moved to Hawaii and wanted to retire, so he's like, "Hey, can you guys come in and run my treatment center?" And we're like, "Yeah, no problem."
Yeah,
that's cool.
So we started doing that, and things are good.
Things are fucking great.
Yeah, can't complain.
No.
What's your position? What do you do?
I'm not sure. I just come here every day, hang around, I've known him for a little while, so.
Yeah, I don't know. He doesn't really have like a title.
There's no title.
He answers the phones though.
Yeah, I like that.
And he closes leads.
Yeah, that's my love.
So like
that's
people can
passion.
actually call and Shane will answer.
Yeah, I'll get
call our 866 number and then Shane answers.
And I race for the phone.
Yeah,
when I don't have it, I don't feel good. I love hearing people in crisis. I love hearing them cry. I love taking control of that conversation with the mother or the father or even the addict and letting them know, you're going to be okay, bro. You're going to be okay.
Where do you think that stems from? You being like loving that aspect of it?
He thinks it's because of my faith. I'm a giver because of my faith. He thinks Jewish people are very giving. I'm not sure. I just, I I don't know. It just gives me great pleasure to give to people and help people out. Oh yeah, I love it. Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah,
He's really good at, like, connecting with people and like just showing them the way.
yeah,
That's super.
yeah. I guide them in. Yeah,
And he's
person.
tenacious too. Like, and not in like an annoying way either. He'll, like, you could be like hesitant to go to treatment and he'll call you
Oh,
and
yeah.
be like, "Hey, text you ready?"
yeah. In a loving way.
In a loving way.
Like I love them. I tell them
Yeah.
on the phone, "I love you, buddy."
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
You love them right where they're at. Love them right when they get here.
Right
and love them
away.
when they get out.
right away,
Mhm.
right away. Yeah, that's all I know.
It's amazing to see, and that's what I'm mostly like. I see the admission side. I'm not a clinical person, so I don't. I have an amazing clinical team across the
Yeah.
board, though. All of the treatment centers, and they're all a little bit different. They all have their own little niche, but I let the clinicians do their job. Like Frank's podcast from I think it came out yesterday. Like he said in the podcast that the best thing that happened to me was coming to Hope by the Sea, because you guys gave me the rope
Yeah.
to do my thing.
That's
He's
cool.
he's like our he's like our number one good review that we get on Google.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think when you get the right people in the right positions and you give them the freedom too to be creative, right?
Yeah, you have to do that.
You allow them
have
to
to.
flourish
You
and
have
stuff like that. Yeah, and I think that's what I like that type
Yeah.
of management.
So
They do
so
that.
this little guy comes from a book called From Good to Great, and it's a book on leadership.
Yeah.
And it talks about being a level 5 leader, and level 5
Pinnacle.
leaders
Maxwell.
teach people how to be leaders themselves.
Yeah.
And it's one of my favorite books. It was life changing, because I didn't know that I was a level 5 leader until I read the book, and and it put names to
The
what I
different
do.
levels and what you do and where you're at.
Yeah, yeah. And that all happened over time. I wasn't a level 5 leader when I started
Right.
working in treatment, but I didn't read the book until I was already, like, successful in life.
Cool.
And it was life changing. So I always talk about the hedgehog concept, and my sister Frank put the hedgehog on my desk, and I couldn't figure out for like a month who put this thing on my desk. So he became my friend.
That's tight.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
tight.
John C. Maxwell.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man.
yeah.
So that's kind of like what we're doing. That's what we're about. Man, this was really good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed
Really good.
your story.
It was our
and-
longest podcast.
Yeah, how long are we?
Close to 2 hours. 2 hours and 2 minutes. Wow.
2 hours, 2 minutes. Damn.
That's
Nice.
fucking
Yeah, I appreciate
sick.
Yeah,
that.
thank
That's
you,
crazy.
man.
Yeah.
You have to break this up into 4.
Yeah, good times.
Hey?
Hey,
Shit.
see, you hear his Canadian. Hey,
Hey?
Yeah. Anytime you guys want me to come out,
Yeah,
let me
for
know.
sure.
Sure,
have you
bro.
come
We're
out,
going to
man.
see you in 2 weeks
Yeah.
on Sunday.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
You want to bring speakers to your treatment center too.